Hello chat, welcome back to another Smithy X livestream. It has been quite a while. Hello Freestyler in the chat. And yeah, we're back for another livestream, and this time something a little bit different. You may have seen from the title, or if you come from our social medias, which if you don't follow are all linked in the description below. We're trying out a little bit of F1 Manager. Now, I have tried it very briefly. Done a couple of races just to sort of get used to everything, but this will be our first proper playthrough, so obviously a little bit late to the bandwagon. You've seen everyone else play it, so hopefully though we can have a good time with this. I'm trying to get my laptop to work, I'm having some issues at the minute, but I do have the chat up on my main screen in the meantime. Yeah, we're back. Has been a while. I do apologise for the lack of content over the last couple of weeks. Obviously league racing sort of died a little bit on F1 22 because, well, let's just say the game isn't very good. But yeah, apologies for that, but we are back. Let's see, can we get this to work? For some reason, my mouse cursor has decided to disappear on my laptop, so I can't actually get the chat to work. So I might have to just play it through this, but that's not a problem. We can get going into it. So let's quickly jump into the game. You can see, did a very quick just thing with Mercedes just so I can get used to the mechanics, that kind of thing. But yeah, we are going to be, sorry, I just need to turn that up a little bit. We will be starting a new career today for the first time, and we're going to get your guys' inputs into what team we should go for. So there will be a poll in the chat in a couple of minutes just to see what we are going to do. The screen, as you can see, my face will be down here in the middle because I've just found that's the best place to put it. But if anyone, you know, want it moving or whatever, just let me know in the chat and we can do that. And also make sure you say hello, because I'm sure we'll be discussing the F1 over the course of the weekend, all stuff like that. So yeah, I want to get chatting to you guys, but let's jump into the game. Yes, ignore that.
Formula One, a
let's listen to
sport that
this.
spans hearts, minds and nations, where the 20 best drivers in the world come together to take on some of the world's most historic circuits. And that legacy continues today. The 2021 championship was thrilling from start to finish, and 2022 is set to be even better. New regulations will usher in an age of pioneering changes. New driving talent alongside returning champions will be dueling it out to the bitter end. The pressure will be on the team principals in the upcoming season as they manage their drivers, their cars, and the whole team to push to victory. This is not a challenge for the faint-hearted. This is Formula One.
Yeah, so there you go. Rather
Mercedes
swanky little cinematics. Turn that back down. I will say I am playing this on the old gen of Xbox, so the graphics may not be quite as good. You know, if you're playing it on PC or you have a new generation console. So do apologise for that. Once I get my PC sorted and actually get a graphics card for it, we can try and make the game look just that little bit better. Just very quickly filling out a poll for you all to vote on in a second. What was your team?
This new season and beyond.
Okay, so there is a poll in the chat that I've just created. I'll give you a couple of minutes just to have a little vote, and you can see what team we will be going for, but we are going to be voting between the four teams that are in the chat. So the first one will be McLaren. Obviously I know quite a lot of people are fans of them. I have found that their car does tend to start off quite low down, considering their season objective is to finish in 5th. I found that their car tends to be, let's turn that down a little bit more, their car does tend to start off about 8th quickest, so it's not the absolute fastest, so that'll be a nice little challenge to try and build them back up. Obviously we have the Daniel Ricciardo situation. Can we try and build his career back up in McLaren, or do we go for another driver? Do we sign Piastri like in real life? Those are all options. We have Alpine, another team we could potentially go for. Obviously, very interesting situation. They have Alonso, they have Piastri. They start off quite quick. They're probably, I'd say, the fourth quickest team off the bat. So if you want to be like sort of upper midfield team, that's an option we can go for there. Obviously, like I said, we will then have to resolve, what do we do? Do we keep Fernando Alonso? Do we have Piastri as our reserve driver? Do we promote Piastri? Do we let Fernando Alonso go? Quite an interesting decision you have to make there. And obviously Esteban Ocon there for the long term, trying to get them back into a position to win races. The other team we could go for is Williams. Obviously, this will be the classic road to glory. I know a couple of creators have already gone for Williams. This is why I'm a little bit hesitant to go for them, maybe, because they do start off very, very slow. Obviously, they do have Go Tiffy, so that is, you know, something that may sway you. But yeah, not the best of team. And then finally, we have the absolute meme team themselves. We have Haas with K-Mag and Mick Schumacher, who for some reason on this game, they've not really done Mick Schumacher any favours. He's quite bad, I'm not going to lie to you. So that could be a challenge, trying to get Mick Schumacher to be better, let's say. Obviously K-Mag, and then trying to build up the only American team. That's an option we can go for. So I'll give you just a couple of minutes in the poll. Got a couple of votes in there, so the minute looks like we are going to go with McLaren. But yeah, while we wait for that, let me know in the chat. Like I said, I do have the chat up. Let me know your thoughts on the Grand Prix today. It was quite an interesting one, wasn't it? A few talking points I'm sure we'll get into over the course of the stream, such as what on earth were AlphaTauri playing at? Seen quite a few conspiracy theories already on what they were doing, but yeah, sure we'll get into that in the stream. But let me know, like, what did you think of the race? Let's give it a rating out of 10. Come to McLaren. Yeah, it does look like we will be with McLaren by the looks of it. So we will have to consider, obviously, what do we do with Ricciardo? Do we keep him? Do we sign someone else? Obviously, is Lando going to get poached from us? I'm not sure if that's even a thing that can happen in the game, but, you know, something we can go for. We can have a look at the team performance here. You can see quite a good HQ, so that'll be helpful because we don't have to spend too much money on that. Fourth best HQ. That'll help build the car up. Decent staff, the drivers, you know, sort of mid-level for the grid. Daniel Ricciardo's moustache is quite scary there, isn't it? And as you can see, it starts off 8th out of 10 cars, so it's not the best in terms of car performance. So considering this team expects to finish 5th in the first season, we're going to have to really push on with development. I think we'll give it we'll just give it another minute or so, but that will be, at the minute, the team we are going for. You can see the drivers we've got there, Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris. So it'll be interesting to see how we can do with them. Stoffel Van Dorn as a reserve driver, although we probably will look to replace Van Dorn because he is a little bit older, and I imagine probably not that highly rated, so not much room to grow either. And you see just a little bit of information about McLaren there, but it does look like, looking at the chat, we are going to go with McLaren. So let's just quickly whack. Probably shouldn't put my name in here, but sod it. What are you going to do? DDoS me. So we are going to see if we can rebuild McLaren. We'll turn off first time guidance because I've already done the little tutorial bit. Right. So let's start a new game then. Let's see how this goes. Hopefully we can do okay. I will be editing these streams down, uploading them on YouTube as episodes. So if you can't stay around for the full stream, or you know you have to leave or whatever, we will be editing them down, and hopefully you guys will be able to check those out as sort of shorter edited things. But we are into the main menu, and yeah, let's have a little bit of a look around. This is not quite as in depth to the game as, you know, something like Football Manager, which I do actually play in my free time, but just like in a game of that, the first thing we need to do, have a look around the team and decide on initial things. So you can see on the main screen we have our board. Board confidence at the minute is medium. We want to finish 5th or above, and the long-term objective is to finish as a Constructors' Champion by 2026. So we have, what's that, 5 seasons to try and win the Constructors' Championship. That's our long-term goal. But the short-term, they want us to finish 5th. That's going to be very difficult because, like I said, our car does start off quite badly. You can see in the bottom there we have 25.7 million to play with. So before we spend any money, we'll quickly just take a look around the team. Obviously the drivers, Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris. Ricciardo, quite decent in the game, has low growth potential, so it will take him quite a while to actually level up. So he's probably not going to improve much further, and he's got average aggression, which if we go down to that, a driver with high aggression will drive closer to competitors and attempt to overtake more often, but driving close to competitors increases the chance of being involved in a racing accident like a crash. So average is probably sort of a happy middle ground. In terms of his setup, Christopher Hayes is his race engineer. Level 3, we'll have a look at the facilities in a moment. But yeah, so his contract runs out at the end of next season. So if we want to break it, you can see it's going to cost us a cool £9 million, which is a little bit less than it's actually cost McLaren in real life. If he finishes above 8th, he gets a £1 million bonus, so we need to keep that in mind. Obviously, we want him to do well, but that's going to take money out, and he has a $10 million salary. So just under £1 million a month for the next 2 seasons. But obviously, depending on how he does, we might be looking to try and break that contract a little bit early. And then we have Lando Norris. You can see very good braking. Control is very good. Maybe a little bit poor on the old defending. He's got average growth potential. So if we look at, if we go up to the top, see development points. It's going to cost him 2,200 experience for him to get a development point, which you can spend on upgrading any of the areas on the screen. He has Jason Pryor as his engineer. His contract, he's got 4 years left on his deal. So you can see 20 million if you wanted to get rid of Lando. Definitely don't want to, so we'll be building the team around him. He gets £1 million if he finishes in the top 6, and he's also on just shy of 10 million. So our driver's quite expensive. You can see he's got career stats, all that kind of stuff. There, so that's our drivers, and then obviously Stoffel Van Dorn. We are going to look to replace Stoffel, so I think that's going to be the first thing we do. Actually, how many scouts do we have? Oh, please tell me the game's not crashed. No, there it is. So we want a younger driver. We want someone, you know, young, has room to grow, can replace Ricciardo in a few years because he is 32. So let's have a look at some of the younger drivers we have. Maybe someone like Ollie Beerman, currently in F3, only 16 years of old. Interesting choice of words. So he's going to be one more for the future, I think. Maybe someone like Teo Porcher, currently in F2, very highly rated, part of the Sauber Academy in real life, but he is 18, he's in F2. Maybe worth giving him a little bit of a scout, so I think he is going to be one person we definitely look to scout. So we have 2 scouts available, so we can scout one more driver. Let's see, who can we go for? So maybe like Jack Doohan. He's the backup at Alpine. Obviously, I think he probably is now their first reserve, after a certain Oscar Piastri decided to run away. So, interesting. Maybe we go for Piastri, actually. Is it worth it? Should we scout Piastri? Obviously, I don't know how good he is on the game. 75 rated is not too bad, to be fair. Let's give Piastri a scout just for the meme. Why not? So we'll scout him. So that's our scouting sorted out already. Oh, we've gone a little bit too far there. Yeah, there's a lot to get through. So obviously, the first one, this will just be setting the team up. Stuff like that. Steve threatening me. Jack, unfortunately, yes, did vote for Haas. We can, we can always choose to switch it up if this gets a little bit boring. We can always switch teams, do multiple saves. That's something we can definitely look at doing. Also, a big shout out to Jack O'Neill in the chat. You may notice I'm a little bit brighter lit than normal. Thank you very much to Jack. He's donated me a light, which, yeah, you can see the difference if I turn it off. Things are a lot darker. So thank you very much, Jack. Do appreciate you giving me this. So a big shout out to Jack. Check his, is it Stockholm Worldwide? I'm sure Jacko will put it in the chat. He's a music producer, produces some very, very good music, if I do say so myself. Go and check out his Instagram and obviously check them out on Spotify. But thank you to everyone who is tuning in at the moment. Yes, whereabouts were we? We're just on driver scouting. So let's have a look at the car. I think it's probably a good place to start. Sort of see what we are working with. So I believe we automatically start off with a new suspension. Oh, no, not design. We'll get into that in a minute. Where is it? Suspension. Yes, we start off with one new suspension. So we'll put it on. Is that Lando's or is that Ricciardo's? I think that's on Ricciardo. So what we'll do, we'll manufacture a couple of new ones of those. Just we've got some spares. That'll cost us 150k. So you can see there we have a cost cap in Formula 1, just like in real life. We have 112 million left in the cost cap. We have 25.5 million left in the bank. That's plenty. We should be fine for the cost cap. At the minute, in the way the game is, it's a little bit... what am I trying to say? It's a little bit easy in terms of money. I imagine it's probably going to get patched at some point, but money... not too much of an issue at the moment. Anyway, let's have a look at the car analysis. We'll change to Lando's car, because that's what we've just put the new suspension on. So, very good feature of this game. I do quite like it. You can compare your car to any team on the grid. You can compare it to any driver on the grid, or just the grid average. So we'll keep it on the average for the time being. So the overall car performance, you can see, compared to the average, we're actually a little bit down. We do start, like I said, with the 8th best car on the grid. There's a lot of numbers here, so it's quite complex, but we'll talk you through, if you're new to the game, or just so you can understand what I'm doing as we go through. So top speed is quite self-explanatory. It's the top speed, so you can see we're a little bit down in terms of straight line speed and acceleration compared to most cars on the grid. The cornering is the amount of downforce created measured in Gs, I believe. So you can see we're a tiny bit down in terms of high speed, so we're quite good there. Medium speed, we're a little bit down, and then probably mostly down on medium speed. You can see the arrows or the thumbs up next to them is what's important for the next track. So you can sort of plan your upgrades and see what you're going to go for. In terms of DRS, we're a little bit down on that as well, although the acceleration is not too bad compared to the average. Dirty air cornering affects, obviously, as you'd imagine, in dirty air, if you're following a car behind, obviously in real life you lose a bit of downforce. That's the same in the game, so the higher that stat is, the less, I think, anyway, the less downforce you lose overall when following another car. So you can try and get a car that's got the most overall downforce, might not be as good following cars, or you might try to maximise your car in dirty air, but it might not have the most peak downforce. So it's quite in-depth, to be fair, in terms of how this game works. And then you've got brake cooling and engine cooling at the bottom. At the minute, they are completely pointless stats until they get patched, because they don't really seem to do anything. So you can sort of just ignore those when you are doing car performance. But you can see, sorry, I've just gone out of the screen. If we show rank on grid, we can see exactly where we are. So we actually have the slowest car on the grid in terms of straight line. In terms of cornering, we're 18th, so we're quite far down. So that is definitely going to be an area we need to upgrade. The car does seem to be quite draggy. So what we're going to do, if we go to car part development, you can see we have 3 manufacturing slots. So that's actually building parts, and 2 design slots. So that means that we can design 2 new parts on the car. So that's what we're going to do straight away. Go into design, and these are the parts of the car you can work on. So your chassis, front wing, rear wing, side pods, underfloor, and suspension. So I'm going to say, considering the new cars are ground effect, I'm going to say we should probably design an underfloor first. Because that's, it seems logical to me. Ground effect, a lot of the downforce comes from there, so fuck's sake, a shout out. Well, I've got a thank you, Jacko. Yes, we are going to design a new floor for the car, because that's probably going to give us the most amount of downforce. Now, this is where it gets quite in-depth, so for those of you who want to play the game, I'll explain it for you. For those of you who aren't interested in the game, just watching for the fun of it, this might explain how Formula 1 actually works a little bit, and why we talk about the cost cap, and why teams are a little bit careful about how much they upgrade. So you can see in the middle of the screen it says CFD, and you can see a thing at the bottom called ATR period. So every 56 days, or I think it's 60 in some cases, this resets, and during those 56 or 60 days, however long it is, you have a certain amount of CFD hours and a certain amount of wind tunnel hours that you can use to try and develop your car. And the worse your car is, or the worse you are in the constructors, the more time you get to sort of try and catch up. It's to try and level the playing field out a little bit. So you can see we have 5.1 mega allocation hours. We'll just call it 5.1 hours of CFD over 56 days. And then if we go to the wind tunnel, we have 68 hours. We can allocate those to parts. Now, we can only design 2 at a time. So what we're going to try and do, if we just quickly go to summary, I am going to try, just quickly flick through these. If the period lasts for 56 days, I'm going to try and make the car design last 56 days. We get both these parts, and we can then allocate all of our wind tunnel time and all of that into 2 new parts that will come in 56 days' time. So half of 5.1 doesn't really work, so we're just going to put 2.6 hours on that. And the wind tunnel got 68, half of that is 34. So we're going to allocate half of our time to this part, and then half of it to the other part that we're going to design in a second. So that's a wind tunnel time. Next we get into the focus. So you can see we've got sliders. So at the minute you can see the fitted part at the moment, say for drag reduction, has 46.93, and the new part will have 52.54. Now we can, if we want to focus on a certain part, so if we want to make the car less draggy, which is quite a big thing for us, we can focus a little bit more on drag reduction, which you can see makes that number go up. But if we focus it an awful lot, you can see what that'll do is mean the other area of the cars, the amount of benefit we get from the upgrade actually goes down a little bit. So it's sort of a balancing act. So, if you want a really, less draggy car, it might mean that we make sacrifices in other areas. Now, for now, we just need a general upgrade, really. The car's quite bad. You can also see, if you look at the summary in the top right, if we change the slider, it actually changes sort of how long it takes. Now, we want this to be done in 56 days, so really, we can only make 2 adjustments to this overall. If we do that, so you can see this is what's going to happen with this upgrade. So you can see our top speed, we're going to go from 20th on the grid to 18th. Same for acceleration, our medium speed's going to get a little bit better, our high speed's going to get a little bit better, and our DRS top speed, so when the DRS is open, will get slightly better as well. So if we want to, slightly adjust that, like I said, we can make 2 adjustments. Doesn't really change too much in terms of that. If we did it for low speed downforce, you can see our dirty air cornering for low speed will go from 18th on the grid to 16th. So we can see sort of where we'd be improving. If we go for medium speed, doesn't really make much difference. And if we went for high speed, that'd actually improve our high speed cornering and our high speed dirty air cornering to 14th on the grid. So it's all about compromise. It's like, where can we overall best improve? Do we want to specialize the car in terms of a certain way? Or do we want to just generally improve? Now, one thing that's probably going to be useful, it would be upgrading the airflow sensitivity. However, that's not really making much difference. So we're probably not going to focus too much on that. I think it's probably best, looking at it, makes the most impact if we up the high speed a little bit. Because that actually improves our rank rather than everything else, which doesn't really do much. So we're going to select that. Now, the next thing is our approach. So we can do a normal approach, which does it just in a normal amount of time, so 56 days. And because our development team spend time designing the part, they get better at designing parts. So that'll mean the next time we design an underfloor, the amount of benefit, the amount of gain that we get will actually increase a little bit. Now, if we were in a hurry, we could rush the development. So that would get it in quicker. You can see it goes down to 38 days rather than 56. It costs a little bit more money. But what the downside to that is it means we get less expertise. So the next time we upgrade a floor, it won't actually benefit us as much as if we did it normally. Or we can go for an intense approach, which takes the same amount of time as a normal development, costs a lot more money, but it means that next time we upgrade a floor, the expertise bonus we get will be much higher. So that's what we're going to do. We've got 25 million in the bank right now. This overall is going to cost us 2.8, so it's not too bad. We get that in 56 days' time. We're going to start that underway, and we can design another part. So I'm going to put this one up to you guys. What part of the car should we develop? We've got chassis, front wing, rear wing, side pods, or suspension. Where should we design a part for? Obviously, it's quite an in-depth little game. So I'll give you a couple of minutes. Get it in the chat. What should we design? Give you guys a chance to be my board of directors or my technical chiefs and see where we can make the car better. You can see on the right-hand side the rank of our car in every area. So stuff like chassis, where it's highlighted green, so the top speed, acceleration, and engine cooling, that's what the chassis mainly upgrades. The front wing does cornering and dirty air cornering. The rear wing is top speed and DRS. Side pod is again top speed and engine cooling. And then the suspension, brake cooling, and top speed and acceleration. So get your votes in the chat. Actually, we'll make another poll. Why not? Can I actually make another poll? We'll end that one. Right, we'll make another poll. And while we wait for this, we can have a little chat about the Grand Prix. Because it was a spicy one today, wasn't it? It was a little bit of a strange one. Definitely some talking points. Sorry. A professional YouTuber would have like moderators that do this for them, but I'm a pleb, so we don't have that here. Rear wing. So we can't put suspension on it, so we'll sod suspension off. Get your votes in to that poll in the chat. And while we wait for that, I'm going to have a very quick drink, and then we'll just have a little bit of a chat about the Grand Prix, because it was a rather interesting one today. But yeah, Max Verstappen. Actually, spoiler alert to anyone who hasn't watched it. Max Verstappen won yet again. That probably wasn't really a surprise, to be honest. But the way it happened was what's rather interesting. If you didn't watch it, so he started from pole. Obviously, the two Ferraris behind him started on softs, and then the Mercedes decided to go for medium tyres. So obviously, a very different strategy. Red Bull and Ferrari both went for a two-stop. Mercedes went for a one-stop, and it was looking to be, the race was going in Mercedes' favour, you have to say. Obviously, after the first round of pit stops, Hamilton was around 13 seconds, I think it was, behind Max Verstappen. Obviously, Verstappen had to pit, Hamilton didn't. And it was about 21 seconds for a pit stop, so Verstappen would have came out behind not only Hamilton, but George Russell as well, and would have to catch them with about, I think it was about 20 laps to go at the point of the race I'm talking about. So it was looking good for Mercedes, because obviously Verstappen, he'd come out the pits, he'd be a couple of seconds behind Russell, he'd have to overtake Russell, he'd then have to catch Hamilton, and then overtake Hamilton with about 20 laps to go. And it'd be, I think he would have been around about 8 or 9 seconds behind. So, it's not a given, especially considering after the first round of pit stops, he wasn't going that much quicker than Hamilton anyway. And then AlphaTauri happened. Honestly, I have no idea what was going on with AlphaTauri, to be fair. So Tsunoda came out of the pits, thought that a wheel was loose, so stopped at the side of the track, and allegedly undid his seatbelts because he was like, right, the race is over, the car stopped. The team then came on the radio to say that the wheel was fine. Quite how they could tell that from the pit wall when Tsunoda was in the car is a little bit strange, but whatever. They said the car was fine coming to the pits, so he drove around with his seatbelts not done, which is against the rules. Came into the pits. Bizarrely, he then had what was like a 30-40 second pit stop. Sorry, excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, had like a 40-second pit stop, I think it was, where they changed the tyres, messed around with his seatbelts for about 40 seconds, but they put him on a worn set of soft tyres, which is quite strange. Sent him out of the pits, and then 2 corners later, he stopped again and caused a virtual safety car, which basically gave Verstappen the win. Now, I won't lie, there's been a lot of conspiracy theories. If you go on Twitter, which, again, if you don't follow me on Twitter, it is linked below, there's been a lot of conspiracy theories. People saying that AlphaTauri stopped him on purpose to cause a safety car to give Verstappen the win. It's just rather bizarre, to be honest. I'd like to think it wasn't some grand conspiracy. I think it's just AlphaTauri being stupid. But you know what Twitter's like. As soon as you have an opinion and you say that, even though I am a Lewis Hamilton fan, a lot of Lewis Hamilton fans are not very happy with me and telling me that I don't understand F1, despite the fact I've been watching F1 for longer than most of them have been alive. So that was fun, but let me know what you thought about it. It was quite a strange one. I personally don't think it was deliberate. Obviously, there'd been a lot of trouble if it was. What has allegedly happened was it was a diff issue, so Tsunoda thought the tyre wasn't fitted properly, came into the pits, the team put a new set of tyres on and then let him go because they thought, right, the issue's fixed, it was a loose tyre. But then once he drove out, they've realised it's a diff issue, and that's why he's had to retire. So it's a little bit strange. I believe they're being investigated. I'm not actually sure if the verdict on that is out, but I imagine they're probably going to get a shouting at. Let's have a look at this poll. It's 50-50 split between chassis and rear wing. Right. So, either way... Oh, and now side pods has got a vote. Brilliant. So I was about to say chassis and rear wing, so it'd be all about top speed, acceleration, trying to reduce the drag of the car. But now we've got side pods as well. We've got a 3-way tie. Fantastic. Just what I wanted. So I'll give it another minute or so. If you are watching, you haven't voted in the poll in the chat, please do, so we can make my tiebreaker a little bit easier. Oh dear. Time on at 7:05, so we'll probably stream till about 8:30, 9 o'clock tonight, just because I do have work very early in the morning. It's one of the reasons I've not been quite so active. I do have a new job. I don't think the company allows me to say where I work, so I'm not going to say, just in case. But we've got a three-way tie. Right. Well, this is awkward then. Alright, let's have a look. Let's see what can we get done before the 56 days runs out. Because obviously that's quite a big consideration. Can we actually... So that's going to take about 30 days. So we can do quite a lot of upgrading to that. Because like I said, the more we focus on certain things, it adds a day on. So we can do potentially 26 changes to that. The rear wing, how long is that going to take? That's 50. So that's... You know, we won't be able to do as much with that rear wing. Was that the front wing or rear wing I did then? I might have done the wrong one. Yeah, sorry, so that is 50 days. And side pods is 40. So the rear wing, we'd be able to do the least amount, but it would affect more areas of the car. And then the side pods and chassis are roughly the same amount of time. So we can upgrade those more. Right, I think I'm going to have to make the final call on this, aren't I? Right, it's going to be a weird one. What do we go for? What do we go for? Do you know what? I think, just for this one, it doesn't say it on there, which is quite strange. Does this add extra things? No, it's just drag reduction, airflow middle. The rear wing, it doesn't say it on the side, but does apparently affect downforce. And the side pods affects the airflow, engine cooling we're not bothered about, and drag reduction. So I think... Do you know what? I think we're going to go for side pods. So we'll whack on the rest of our CFD hours. So these reset every 56 days. So every 56 days you want to make sure you've used all of these. So we'll do that. We'll just quickly jump onto this screen, put the rest of the engineers on, put it on intense because we may as well. So that's 29 days, so that gives us, quick maths, 27 little ticks we can change on here. Now, engine cooling doesn't really matter. I'm not too fussed about that. You can see already it's going to improve our engine cooling and improve our top speed with DRS. But we want to bump up drag reduction. That's something we definitely want to do. That can stay the same. What are we on? 32. So if we actually max all of these out, that still only takes us to 38 days. We can probably bump that up then. But you can see there the trade-off. If we switch over to this view, so the more we bump that up, it lowers everything else. So it might be worth... Like I said, this stat doesn't really do much. So if we lower that, it might actually be better for us. Although it makes us worse in that part, it might actually be better for us to do that. How long's that? Still only 39 days, to be fair. So if it's only going to be 39 days, why don't we take a little bit off this? Because I think we might be able to develop another part in time. Because we'll have 17 days left over, but we can allocate the rest of the hours then. So we might actually be able to get a third part on here. We'll leave it on intense. We'll develop that. And that is more money down the drain. So we've spent, you know, a decent amount of money, about 3 million there. The budget cap, off the top of my head, I think it's 140 million. So a drop in the ocean doesn't really matter. Not going to affect us too much. So that's car development. Obviously, there's quite a lot to get through before we actually get into it. Drivers, we've already had a look at. Our staff, not really going to choose too much there because we can't really do anything because both of our scouts are busy. Right, let's take a look at the HQ. So our HQ is actually quite decent. But one area we definitely want to improve straight away is the design centre. So you can see that right there, it's how many car parts we can design and how many engineers we get. So obviously the higher that is, the more parts we can design at once and the more engineers we get. So that's definitely something we want to upgrade because we need to upgrade the car quite a bit. But that does mean, you know, a bigger monthly outlay. But we're going to go for that. It's 11.5 million. Get that underway. The factory, I think we're fine for the factory at the minute. The wind tunnel and CFD, so that means the more hours we put in for the CFD or the wind tunnel, basically the more upgrade it gives to the car. So they're definitely things we'll want to look at, but 12 million, can't afford those. And the same for the suspension and car part. Excuse me. Scouting department's not really that important. Team hub, Just affects attractiveness, experience gain. But this is definitely something we want, because that gives us more experience a week for our drivers, so we'll upgrade that. And how much we got left? 5.7 million. So the money goes quite quickly. So what do these do? A lot of these just affect team attractiveness. The weather forecast center could be quite useful. We'll go for that. Hospitality area doesn't really do much. We don't have a boardroom. 400k, why not? Maybe the board will like us a bit more. Sod it, we'll get the tour center as well, because that gives us a little bit more weekly income. So that's a lot of money spent. We've only got 3 million left already. Why? Oh, because I've not put the suspension on, because I took it off. Right, we'll put that on. There we go. Let's get rid of that. Right, I think that's everything we need to go through. So, let's actually start moving time forward. So we've got pre-season testing coming on the 12th. So that'll give us a sort of an overview of where our car is at. Oh, we have an email. Let's go and check that. So, introduction to our staff. Ben Watkins and the other guy. Sponsor obligations. We'll have a look at that in a minute. We have a dilemma. Good morning, Reese. We've had an idea for a season kickoff party. Yada yada yada. So 10k to improve morale, or we deny it. 10k to drop in the ocean. So we will go with that. And that'll just boost morale a little bit and make it a bit easier for the drivers. Make them perform a little bit better. So we'll skip on a bit more. That suspension part is built, so we can put that on Ricardo's car in a second. And we can check the results of pre-season testing. That's a boardroom built. That was quite quick. Bloody hell, I wish we could have those builders. So this is pre-season report. Actually, those car performances look very different to what it was showing. So maybe they were a little bit off. If we go to cars, I can actually add that new suspension part on to this, because we have it built now. Get it on both. Is that part performance or actual? So it would appear our car is actually better than it was saying it was. I'll take that. Definitely not going to complain. So maybe it's not as bad as we thought, but the car is obviously still not ideal when we want to be coming 5th. I think mainly if we go to standings, we're obviously those 3 teams, they're going to be way clear of us. Alfa Romeo, Bottas, I have noticed, is quite OP. So he's going to be quite difficult to beat, although Guan Yu Zhou's not always quite as good. Williams and Aston Martin tend to be extremely bad at the start, so we won't need to worry about them. Same with AlphaTauri. Gasly can sometimes pop up with a good result, but Tsunoda's not particularly good. Haas have the weekends. It's mainly going to be Alpine we're going to be fighting for P5 in the championship. Although, to be fair, I want to try and get P4. That's my goal, but the board obviously just want P5. There's quite a lot of information that this game gives you, so we'll have a look at some of that in a second as we go to the first round of the season. So go to emails. That's just telling us about that, and we have a little bit of preparation for the first race of the season. So yeah, there is a lot of detail in this game. It's actually quite crazy. So this is like a pre-weekend thing, so you can have a look before you go into the race. We've got a circuit map showing you the DRS zones, corners, all that kind of stuff. Breaking the track down by section, so if you're planning upgrades for a certain race, you can have a look at it and see. So around this track, you can see there's quite a lot of green, which is fast sections. So high-speed cornering will be quite important there. Obviously, a lot of straights. There's a decent amount of red there, so they're slow-speed sections. If you go to car attributes, it shows you what's important for this track. So medium speed, both cornering and dirty air, is crucial for the circuit. So a car good at medium speed cornering will probably do a little bit better here than maybe a car geared towards high speed, which is unfortunately what our car is. So we might struggle a little bit around here. Stuff like average pit stop time loss, so you can see how much time you lose through stuff like safety cars. Expected strategy, so it's saying a 2-stop. The 1-stop does tend to be quite OP on this game, so we might try a 1-stop around here. Sort of compound performance, previous race results. You can see last year, Lando Norris got P4. Historic results, and then obviously sort of powertrain usage. So you can see, if people put a fresh engine in for this race, because we do have a limit on those. Obviously, we're okay here. We've got car parts and everything. And then performance targets. So we can try and set targets. Well, our sponsors set us targets. So you can see in this one, we've got a target to get P10 in qualifying. That's going to be quite difficult. To finish in the top 10, and then a qualifying position streak. So finish in the top 12 with both drivers for 5 weekends in a row. We get 2.4 million. Probably not going to happen for a while, that one. But then we can also add extra things on. So if we think we can get into Q2, we can add a bonus on. So we get money if we do it, we lose money if we don't. So we're not going to add any of those on, just because we're not quite sure where our car's going to be in the pecking order. But let's go to the Grand Prix weekend for the very first time. While it's loading in, let's have a quick look at the chat. Like you see, there is a lot of setup. So we have been live now for what, about 45 minutes, and we're just getting into the first race. Does tend to happen, I won't lie. There is quite a lot of stuff to go through. Well, thank you to everyone who is tuning in. If you are enjoying it, please do leave a like. If you are enjoying it as well and you're not subscribed, please do consider hitting subscribe. We are just over 800 subscribers at the minute, as we get a little intro here from Crofty.
Small land footprint, but it's showing its big spirit right now in the grandstands. Either way, it's time for another fantastic weekend of Grand Prix racing. The Bahrain International Circuit is a challenging track, and the cars routinely have to brake from high gear to low to take the narrow turns. With the need for downhill braking, the risk of locking up is one drivers will need to manage. It's all about focus and balance to get victory here. At this early stage in the season, there are still plenty of opportunities for things to change. In this sport, there simply are no guarantees. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Formula One.
Cheers, Crofty. Yeah, so like I said, this is on the old gen console, so the graphics are a little bit toned down compared to what you normally get, so do just bear that in mind. It's why it probably doesn't look quite as good as you've seen from other people. I am, when I get paid from my new job, looking at upgrading my computer so I can play it on there instead. So, maybe we can jump over and do a different career over there when we get the chance. Sorry, I've just got the wrong thing open. Right, so let's jump into the first practice session. Right, so we've got both our drivers in. We can, if we had a young driver want to develop, you can put your reserve driver in. They get bonus experience towards leveling up, but Stoffel Lando, we don't really want to be putting him in the car. Right, so let's have a look and get the car set up for practice. So, practice one, the first one, we'll probably go out on hard tyres, I think, with Ricciardo for just the first session. Obviously, the car is all sorted. It's the first race of the season. So this is a setup. Essentially, you change these things and it affects different sliders, but different things affect sliders in different ways. So it's basically opposing sliders trying to find a sweet spot to get a good setup. So you can see the top bar sort of oversteer bias. If we move the front wing up, that gives us more oversteer, but if we move the rear wing up, it makes it go down. So it's a sort of a balancing act to see, what's important. We have 3 practice sessions. The more runs you do, the smaller those bars get, so you can sort of hone in on a good setup, just like they do in real life F1. So I think for Bahrain, we'll try something like that. Try and get that somewhere in the middle, I think, of those bars. We'll try something like that for Ricciardo, put him 20 laps. And then for Norris, let's put him out on mediums, actually. They're the same. So you can see so Norris will prefer a slightly different setup. So it's not the same for both drivers, which is important to note, because in my little test I was just putting the same setup on both and getting different setup confidences. We'll talk about that in a minute. So it's quite important to make sure that you don't... what am I trying to say? That you don't just assume both drivers are going to want the same thing, because drivers have different, preferences for what they want in the car. So I don't know. We'll try something like that for Norris. Put it on a 20-lap run plan. And then go to our first practice session as team boss of McLaren and see if we can do a better job this season than McLaren. You might be able to hear that. I might need to turn it up if needs be. So they actually have real-life clips from team radio from drivers and engineers, which is a pretty neat feature, I think. We'll send Ricciardo out first. Get a little cutscene here for the first time of the session of Daniel Ricciardo in his McLaren, getting ready to go out. And then we'll send Lando out just behind, I think. But yeah, for a manager game, the graphics on this are mental. Like, if you have played Football Manager or seen any games like that, management games, the graphics don't tend to be very good. But this is mental. You can ride on board, so you know the standard T-cam that you see on TV. Let's get rid of that menu. You can have a rear camera. Obviously, I'm covering those up a little bit. You've got the shoulder cam you normally see sometimes on F1. You've got a nose cam, and then obviously the off-board cameras. Absolutely crazy stuff. Now, these sessions are about an hour long, so we're not going to sit here and go through all of it. We're just going to times 16 speed, because there's not really too much to do in practice. It's just the drivers going around, getting a feel for the track, getting used to the setup and everything like that. So let's have a look. First lap around, let's see what the difference between the drivers is. So Norris, half a second quicker, straight off the bat. Obviously, he is on the medium. Okay, oh, Ricciardo's had a lock-up. Copy. It's not ideal. He's gone off the track there. And in a minute, we'll get a replay, I believe. Should come up.
And gone straight on. Let's take a closer look. Now look at this. Daniel Ricciardo involved here. They've locked up.
So off the circuit. So not a good start for Ricciardo. We were talking about replacing him at the start of the stream. And literally on his second lap, he's gone off.
The team had such high hopes today. What a shame.
This is one thing I think they do need to patch. It does make me laugh. So when replays of like bad things, crashes, that kind of thing happen, they've got those cutscenes where it cuts to the team looking really upset about it. But they do it in practice one. Like, this is a practice session. The team wouldn't be there going, "Oh my god, no way!" So it does make me chuckle when we see those. But we'll just go back to fast forwarding. Just let the drivers do their runs. And while we wait for that, let's see what is going on in the chat with you guys. So let's just quickly get the chat up. Yeah, rip for Ricciardo. Yeah, it's not a great start, is it? You can see pretty decent pace so far, to be fair. So Norris is currently 13th, Ricciardo down in 16th, so it's not going too well, actually. I say that, the drivers are starting to fall back a little bit. I think Ricciardo is actually holding up Norris, so might be worth telling Ricciardo to, where is it? In here, don't fight, teammate. Let Lando go, so Lando can run his program at his speed, and we can sort of get a better understanding, really, of where our car is. Steve, what are you saying? I want to come back to Tier 10 CoCom. Yeah, I'm having to take a little bit of a step back at the minute with commentary, just because, like I said, I do have this new job. Ricciardo, not happy with the setup. So that's not ideal there. Yeah, I have had to take a step back from the commentary just because the new job that I've got, I'm not getting to work from work till like 5:30, usually every day. I've not got the time to do all the, the cutscenes and the pre-recorded stuff that I want to do. And yeah, my time's a little bit cut short at the minute. It's why, obviously, league racing as well. I haven't done too much of that recently. You'll have noticed the live streams for them have been a little bit far between. So Lando's happy with the car confidence. Yeah, I've just not had the time. So that's where the streams have been. That's why there's not been any videos or anything like that, because I've just started this new job and just getting bedded in and everything. Obviously, through my induction, I've got a lot of paperwork, stuff to learn like that. So that's why, like I said, I've not been as active, but we are looking. Once we get a little bit more into it, that'll be rectified. On the big bucks. Yeah, job is more important, but I do enjoy doing it. It's just time at the minute. But once it's all like settled, like I said, we will get back to commentating, back to racing. Obviously, we'll be doing this pretty regularly. I'll try and get these out do these live streams on a Sunday after the Grand Prix. The drivers will be coming back into the garage actually. So let's slow this down. I think Norris is coming in first. We will be, trying to do these on a Sunday after a Grand Prix, or if there's not a Grand Prix on, we'll just do them on the Sunday anyway. Just a nice way to end the week, I think. It's a nice, chilled out game, can interact a little bit more. It's not like the races where I'm quite focused on what's going on. As Norris comes into the pits, let's have a look what he is saying with the setup. So his confidence is 61% at the minute. Obviously, the closer we get it to being an optimal setup, the higher the confidence is. It means the driver's obviously a bit more comfortable, they can drive quicker. So you can see he's giving us feedback. So the oversteer is good, so it goes from bad, good, great, optimal, I think. I've not seen anything other than those. So you can see we've nailed the traction, but everything else isn't particularly good. So maybe it's worth... No, we'll put a little bit more rear wing in, perhaps. Something like that. Obviously, we want to try and keep the traction as close to where it is at the moment. Because because that means it's, you know, it's in a good spot there. We'll try something like that, and we'll see how that goes. We need to change his tyres, because obviously those mediums are going to be pretty worn now, so we'll put him on a set of hards. In practice, the way it works, every practice session, you give back 2 sets of dry tyres. So over the weekend, we have all these softs. We have these mediums and that set of hard for practice. Every practice session, we give 2 sets of tyres back. That's 6 sets altogether. That leaves us... So say if we use 6 sets of softs, we only use them, it'd mean when it came to qualifying, we'd only have 1 set of softs left. So it's sort of managing your tyre allocation. It's obviously quite nerdy, but it's the way it works in real-life Formula 1. So because we've used that set of mediums in this session, that set will be given away, and next session we won't have that set of tyres to use. So you sort of want to balance the tyres you're using and then thinking ahead to the race, like what tyres do we want to use. I am going to try and do a 1-stop in the race. That means we'll use 1 set of mediums, 1 set of hards. You can see the locked ones we get in the race, so we've got those 2 spare. We want some left for qualifying, some soft, so we'll probably use those 3. So that means we have 2 sets of mediums, 1 set of hard, and 4 sets of softs to use over the 3 practices. So if you use that set of mediums, we'll go on to that set of hards for this one, keep it on 20 laps, and he is reconfiguring. Right, let's have a look at Ricciardo. He's only 50%, so he's less happy. So we know from Lando that traction, we want it to be lower down, so we'll see if we can adjust that a little bit. Sort of down towards that way. The oversteer is on great, so we know that's quite close to where he wants it. So if we stick a bit more rear wing on the car, perhaps. And then put a bit more rear on, maybe, to sort of keep it close to great. And then we need to adjust everything else, because everything else is way off. Let's try that. So I think with Ricciardo, he was on hard, so we'll put him on the softs this time around. So we have to make those setup changes. You can see at the bottom there's a little bar that says reconfiguring. That's just making the setup changes. So we'll give it... We'll fast forward a couple of minutes until the drivers are ready to go out. And see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let's get the chat back up. But yeah, so... What were we saying? Before we got rudely interrupted by my drivers wanting attention. Yeah, we will be getting back into the swing of things. I just need to obviously sort my job out first, because that is a little bit more important. It pays the bills and allows me to actually do this stuff in my free time. But yeah, so exciting about that. So the drivers are now ready to go back out, so we'll send Norris out. Give it a little bit of a gap, and then we will send out Danny Rick. Hopefully get him in some... clear air. Lando goated. At the minute, he is our lead driver. He's 3/10 clear, but remember, Lando was on the mediums last time. Danny Rick was on the hards, so, you know, 0.3 of a second is not too bad. One thing I have noticed is the tyre compounds don't appear to be too balanced, and tyre wear isn't really a thing in this game at the minute till it gets patched. So you'll notice drivers won't find, especially in qualifying, you'll see it a lot more in qualifying, that drivers won't tend to improve as like you see in real life. In qualifying, for example, you saw drivers getting a second quicker between the start of Q1 and the end of Q1. Doesn't really happen in this game. The times don't really change too much, just because tyre wear is not really a thing. So we're going to skip towards the end of the session. It's our first practice session done. Currently 14th and 16th, not great. We've not really been pushing the car too much. We've, like I said, focusing mainly on getting the setup in the sort of right sort of window, just getting acclimatization with the car on the track, which we'll talk about in a second once practice finishes, so we can talk. So I can show you that mechanic. But yeah, I'm excited for this. It's a new game, like I said, different change of pace. Obviously, the racing streams tend to be quite intense. I don't get too much chance to chat, talk to you guys. But yeah, excited to be able to do that with this. So Danny Rick's got some clean air now. You can see on the track map as he flies around. He's going to improve.
How's the balance?
Who's running wide there?
Oh, Colin's ran wide somewhere. So Danny, Norris is good with the car. Ricciardo not quite got it there. You can see in the sort of bottom left, we've got Ricciardo highlighted just above DRS, where it says 4 out of 5. That means the areas of the car, so the oversteer, everything we showed you in the menu, he's decided on 4 out of 5 of those. So the more they go around, well, perfect timing. It's now gone to 5 out of 5, so he's now got an overall set of confidence. So it's gone from bad to good, so that's got better, but it can definitely still improve. So we're going to skip towards the end of the session. There's only a minute left. And yeah, P15 and 16, not a great start.
Okay, Lando, that is the end of the session.
But, you know, we'll take it for now. As Norris finishes off just a little bit behind Mick Schumacher's Haas. but it is Charles Leclerc starting off. Now, I believe the car performances are based on earlier in the season. So if you watch real life F1, you know McLaren weren't very good at the start of the season. You'll know Aston Martin, although they qualified obviously Lance Stroll in P10, at the start of the season they weren't very good. So that's why you'll see, you know, Aston Martin way off. You see Albon, you know, right at the back when he's been getting into Q3 recently. You'll see the AlphaTauri are very, very good compared to where they are in real life. Obviously Alfa Romeo as well. They were knocked out in Q1 this weekend, but at the start of the season they were very good. So that's why Bottas is all the way up in P6. He's very overpowered. Nearly as quick as Hamilton, which, if you look at the Drivers' Championship at the minute, you'll know that's not really the case. So that is why that is like that. Now, I did briefly mention track acclimatization. So as the drivers go around in practice, they're not only working on the setup, they get more acclimatized with the track, they get used to the track more. You can see there they've got 43% at the moment, so the more laps they do, the more it goes up to 100%. Same with the car parts knowledge, so it's the first race of the season, so they're getting used to a new car. So that'll go up to 100%. But then if you bring, say, a new front wing or a new rear wing, like we're developing, when you put that on, it'll mean it'll go from 100% if they get up to that. It'll drop it back down a bit as they get used to how the car feels with this new part. So it's something to manage. It might be, obviously, you bring a new upgrade, it might make the car better, but because the drivers aren't quite used to it, they don't get as much of a performance bonus. And if you look at the bottom, they can earn up to 15 performance bonuses. It affects their control, accuracy, cornering, braking, and reactions. The more performance bonuses they get through practice, basically they get stats added on and makes them better in the race. You can see at the minute we've got 7 and 8, respectively, for Ricciardo and Norris. So that's another thing we need to work towards as we go through the practice sessions. They're a little bit samey, I have noticed. Once you've done a couple, they're pretty much the same every time. So you can see, just like I was speaking about, these 2 sets of tyres we used in P1, they've been given back, so we can't use them again this weekend. So it's a balancing act. So if you were doing a strategy where you needed 3 sets of mediums, you wouldn't want to use any of the mediums in practice because you then have to give them back. So it's sort of a balancing act. So we'll start on softs this time, 20 laps again. So let's have a look at the setup. So you can see those bars get smaller, and you can see obviously we're way off in some areas. So we'll add more on there. We need to move that back a little bit. Make some changes. That's already at the max. So we'll try something like that. Actually, it'll take some wing out. We'll try that on Ricciardo. Hopefully it can improve his setup confidence. And for Norris, he's already a little bit higher. He's on 65%. Let's see. So wings are way off. Let's see. So we need to adjust that sort of there. And we'll try... It's a difficult balancing act, this game. We'll try that. He's also on sauce, isn't he? Yeah. So we'll go to practice 2. Let's see what's going on with that. Sorry, just had a notification, just checking what that was.
Radio okay now? Yep, radio's good, drink's good.
Do we get a little bit of an audio cue? If you can't quite hear those, do let me know. I can turn those up a little bit so you can hear the driver radio. Again, we'll skip forward. We don't need to watch the cars there. Steve, do you know the word? I feel like this is going to be some kind of internet meme that I'm not privy to. Yeah, you can see straight away. So they're a lot closer this session already. That's about, what, 0.2 of a second? So a lot better than where they started last time out. So just going to let them pound around, get to work with the track acclimatization, get used to the car, and the new setups, and they'll let us know how they're feeling about that. So what time are we on? About 7:30. So I think we'll do the first race, and then we'll leave it there for the first one. Obviously, we had quite a lot of stuff to get through. And yeah, get into some racing action. Just turn that up a little bit. Steve, I want you to know that I hate you on a molecular level. Oh dear. Yeah, there's not really too much to do with practice. It's basically just this. So qualifying, obviously, there's a lot more sort of management to do, and especially in the races, they're very sort of micromanagement heavy. So we'll get through those. We'll call it a day after the first one, and then I think we'll probably do this again we'll say next. Yeah, what a Family Guy reference. Steve, I still hate you though. We'll probably do another part of this Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sometime next week.
How's the balance? How's the balance?
So all the leagues are on a break week anyway. And then, obviously, next Sunday after the Grand Prix. So we can sort of keep the momentum on this going. Because they're quite chilled out, quite nice to do. You can see we're doing a little bit better this session. You know, Norris is 14th instead of 15th, so that's an improvement. Making ground already, guys. Tyre wear warning, yeah, I'll just skip through that. They'll be coming into the pits sometime soon, I imagine.
Okay,
I think Norris has spent the entire session cooped up behind his teammate. So they're both going to come into the garage this time around. Yes, I don't care.
My concern is the front graining.
Let's just skip forward.
Okay, understood.
So I need to look after
Right,
these tyres.
let's look. So he's now up to 86%, so that's good. But we've got a little bit worse in some areas. So we need to make some changes to try and make the setup even further better. So what can we do here? I think the cornering needs to be a little bit further to the left, but how do we achieve that? Something like that, maybe? Adjust that a bit more. We'll give that a go with Norris. Same run plan. And then for Ricardo. So he's got everything up to good now. Try that for Danny Rick. Yep, confirm that. Hopefully we can try and get these guys try and get these guys as close to 100% as we possibly can. Who wants me? Yep, didn't ask, don't care, plus ratio. Let's go. Right, Norris is ready to go out, so we'll send him back out in some clean air, just in front of Ocon. And then we'll send Ricardo out. He's got some nice clear track, but I imagine that Verstappen's going to catch him. So that's not going to be ideal. 18 minutes left in this session. Oh god, what am I doing?
I think we've had a car run wide.
Oh no, we've had a car run wide. David Croft is way too enthusiastic considering it's a practice session. But yeah, have any of you guys been playing this game? Obviously, I know some of you, like Jacko just watches me because he's my mate, so thank you. But I know some of you are interested in F1, interested in F1 games, so let me know, have you been playing this game? Who have you started your careers with? I'm interested to see. I know my brother's got the game, and he's starting with, I think he started with, like, Red Bull. But, yeah, I think that'd just be too overpowered for me, because obviously they're already one of the best teams in the game. I do enjoy games like this, where you start as a manager, you have to build a team up. So I think I did a practice... Oh, who's run wide? Lando ran wide. So I did a practice one with Aston Martin, I think. I did about half a season with them.
Someone's run wide.
Yeah, I don't care. So one thing I don't like is it slows the time down every time it gets a warning, and some of them you just want to skip. Right at the end of the session, are we going to get an update on the setup?
Well,
I think we might have gone a little bit
How's
too
the
long.
balance?
Oh no,
How's the balance?
so Lando's up to great now, that's good to see.
I'm happy.
Okay,
But
understood.
Ricardo, is he... We don't know. Didn't quite get there. That's practice 2 over and done with. Verstappen this time going fastest. I do notice that Red Bull and Ferrari tend to be very, very close in this, and the Mercedes are quite a way off, you can see. About 8/10 back. Oh no! To be fair, Lando up to 92%. So what I think it might be worth doing in the next session is port in Lando setup over onto Ricardo's car.
Hello, and thank you for joining us.
We'll skip that. Right, let's have a look then. Yeah, so Lando's up at 92%, so we'll up that. So it's braking stability for him. So we try something like that. So gotta try and remember that setup now, which I'm probably not going to do. It's like 311. I've already forgotten it. 31164. And that was about there. I don't think that's the one. Yeah, so you can see already that this setup is out of the range Ricardo wanted. So it's really a fine balancing act. Trying to get this in the right sort of window. We'll give that a go for Ricardo. Ricardo already proving to be a little bit of an issue. So that's not good. Might end up having to get rid of him at this rate, like I said. We'll see, we'll see. He's got 2 years left. We're not going to be Zach Brown. We're not going to.
Radio check.
We're not going to go behind his back.
Yeah.
Or are we? We don't know. We've only just started.
Check should be green now.
What are you going to do when you hit 1,000 subscribers? If I hit 1,000, let's be real. We're still a long way off that. It's taken us. Yeah, I'll not be very consistent with it, but it has taken us about 2 years, I want to say, to get to 800. So I'm not even thinking about 1,000, but I'm sure we'll do something special. We'll do some kind of video for 1,000 subscribers. I've got a few ideas, but obviously I want to keep them as a surprise. Try and when we get a little bit closer, I'll reveal some things. So try and encourage some of you guys to subscribe. And speaking of which, if you are and you are enjoying it and you want to see more of this, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. It does really help out the channel. You would not believe how much it does help. As soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers, the way it works essentially is sorry, I was just looking at something then. Where was it? Yeah, so the way it tends to work on YouTube, you hit 1,000 subscribers. Once you get into the YouTube Partner Program, YouTube can start making money off your content because they put adverts on it. Obviously, YouTube's get a very, very small amount. But YouTube also makes money from the ad revenue. So, you know, they have an incentive then to push your content out to more people. So that's why you tend to see YouTube, as soon as you hit 1,000, the growth sort of curves up because YouTube then starts to push their videos out because it's in their interest. They make money off it. So, you know, if you want to help us hit 1,000, you want to help us grow this little community we've got here, as Ricardo's up to great now. Fantastic. Ricardo's not complaining. If you want to help this little community grow, genuinely, hitting subscribe is such a big thing for small channels. It helps more than you can even imagine. So, you know, watch the streams and hit the subscribe button. So we've got Norris up to optimal, so that's fantastic. So I believe once you hit 97%, it goes to optimal.
Yeah.
Optimal. Can't speak English today. So we know Norris has got a really good setup. So we just need to work a little bit more on Ricardo's. But as I was saying, for 1,000 subscribers, if we ever hit it, I have some plans. We'll do some special videos if we hit that. Let's have a look. So Ricardo's in the pits. Let's have a look at his setup. What is he saying? 88%. So that's an improvement. Cornering, still not where I'd want it to be. I won't lie. So if we try something like that, we'll give that a go. We've only got one more chance at this, really. So, right. So what do we want to do? We get a set of mediums. We get a set of hards. Don't think we're going to need all these softs. So do you go softs again, or do you go mediums, chat? What are we saying? We're probably going to get knocked out in Q. We're borderline Q1, Q2, so we don't need a load of softs. So I think we'll go out on softs again with him. Norris, 97%. Call me an F1 engineer. We'll leave that. I don't want to mess with his setup too much. We'll whack on another set of softs. We'll send him straight back out. And he can just keep running till the end of the session. Ricardo obviously needs to make a few little setup changes, so he's still in the garage. And, yeah. we'll send him out when he is ready. But yeah, there are back to what we were talking about, 1,000 subscribers. There are a lot of things that I actually really want to do. But at the minute, I'm just limited by hardware. So as soon as I start getting paid from this new job, because I won't lie, it's quite a lot more money than my old job. So I'm definitely going to upgrade my computer. Essentially, my computer's quite a beast, but it just doesn't have a graphics card in it. I've been trying for about a year to get, you know, like a 3070, 3080, something like that. Like a really high-end one, so I don't have to replace it every couple of years. As, you know, people who build PCs will know, they're impossible to get hold of. So, as soon as I actually have the money to do so, we'll be upgrading the PC, and it'll mean that we can do, you know, transfer over to the PC on the F1 game. It'll mean we could play this game on PC, but it'll also open up a few more games. One thing I'd really want to do is, I want to get into iRacing. So for those of you who don't know, it's more of a simulator, so like the physics engine and everything. It's a racing game essentially, but with, you know, it's much more hardcore. Try to be as accurate to real life as possible. They do stuff in like, there's not so much Formula 1 in that. There is an F1 car in it that's been made by the Mercedes F1 team, so it's much more realistic. But what I really want to do is they do events like 24-hour endurance races. So you get with a team, you know, have 4 or 5 drivers and do a 24-hour race. I'd love to do one of them. And there's like a 1,000 subscriber special doing a 24-hour Grand Prix. That, to me, I'd be really up for doing something like that. So if you want to see that, you know, hit subscribe, let me know. Norris is into the pits, Ricciardo's still going round, and that is the end of practice. So I'll just skip forward till the actual end of the session. But yeah, so I'd really like to do iRacing, you know, a stream a week on something like that. That could be fun. There you can see, quite good actually for the end of first practice session. 100% track acclimatization. Obviously the car parts knowledge, because it is a brand new car, because obviously it's the start of a new season, it does take a, you know, probably till the end of the second. Well, once you've done practice for the second race, that'll get up to 100%. Pretty good set of confidence, you know, it's above 90, so that's good. And that leads us nicely into our first qualifying session, so big up the drama as we go into quali. But yeah, so there are a lot of things I'd like to do. Obviously, Formula 1 game. If we get on PC, you can start trying to collaborate with some other content creators. Really, really trying to get... So one idea I did have is get a bunch of content creators together around the Formula 1 game, do sort of a weekly series where we just jump into open lobbies, all get in a voice chat. You know, the old school OG, like, Sprint Mode Championship, for those of you who were around in the F1 community back then. Definitely want to do something like that, but it's just finding enough people to do it. Last chance to adjust car setup. Yeah, we'll leave everything as it is. And let's get ready for qualifying. But yeah, I have a lot of ideas of stuff I want to do. It's one, finding the time, and then obviously there's limitations for stuff like, you know, hardware or, you know, people's availability, stuff like that. So as soon as I can get everything aligned, there's a lot of stuff that I really do want to be able to do. But we're in qualifying. Enough of that. Let's get into it. So 18-minute Q1. You see a couple of cars already out on the track. We can actually go on board with other drivers. See, Carlos Sainz is going out. For some reason, one thing I have noticed, for the first 2 races around here and in Jeddah, the textures are really, really bad for some reason, but they do get a lot better. So, as I said, do excuse the not great graphics for the first couple of races. But let's get back to our drivers, Ricciardo and Norris. We'll send them out at the start of the session, skip time forward a little bit while they're on their out laps. And then we'll go on board for the first qualifying laps of the season. So we'll go with Danny Rick now. We'll stop time there a second. Take control. He's already sort of ready. We'll take over Lando as well. Go on board with Lando. Right, so with him, we're going to set him to attack, push the fuel, deploy mode on his ERS. Ricciardo is ahead on track, so let's go on board with Daniel Ricciardo as he does his first qualifying lap. See what he can do. See if we can have a look. If we go on this, we can see the sector times. So into turn 1. They are a little. One thing I have noticed the onboard, they're a little bit sort of wobbly, the cars. So if they do get a bit janky, that's why. Like I said, it is the first F1 Manager game in I want to say about 20 years. Like, F1 Manager games don't come around very often, so really excited to see where this series goes, because as a first entry, you know, I am enjoying it. There are a few issues with the game, but they are getting sort of patched. The devs know about it, and you know, as the game progresses, it comes out more often, I'm sure we'll see a lot more features added. But Ricciardo doing alright on his first lap here. Not purple, but didn't expect him to be. I think the AlphaTauri is going to be the first one to cross the line. You can see that on the minimap in the sort of middle right-hand side of your screen. Yuki Tsunoda, 33.3. For him, we have an Alfa Romeo about to cross the line, but I think he's just starting a lap. Alex Albon in the Williams, he is half a second off Tsunoda. We should be beating the Williams. Tsunoda, I'm not so sure about. We might be quite close to him with our two drivers. Don't think they've been held up by traffic, so these should be pretty decent lap times. The Carlos Sainz absolutely smashes everyone with a 31.4. Don't think we're going to be beating him today. And as Ricciardo comes around the final corner, what's it going to be for Daniel Ricciardo? As he crosses a line, it is P2. Can Norris beat him? First qualifying head-to-head of the season. No! That is actually quite surprising, because Lando is, you know, he's rated higher. And we've seen the real-life struggles that Ricciardo's been having, so Danny Rick already, you know, we were slagging him off at the start, we're saying we might replace him. It's actually quite a decent little start, isn't it? So we'll skip time, get them back into the pits. And, yeah, we'll switch the tyres out. Obviously, they will need to go out again at the end of the session, probably, because we're not going to be too safe, I don't think. We'll get the tyres changed, give time a little bit of a fast-forward towards the end of the session. Let's get everyone's times and see where we stack up. Not looking too bad at the minute, though. Sort of ahead of Mick Schumacher. Russell's had a very bad lap there. I'm not sure what's happened to him. He's gone slower than our Williams. Leclerc only down in P9 at the minute, so that's not been a good lap for him so far. But yeah, 11th and 13th. Do you know what? I will take that. Obviously, I imagine Russell's probably going to improve. Because he is only 19th. Have to say... Oh, everyone's going out, so we'll try and be the last ones out, I think. We'll send Ricciardo out again first, then Norris. And yeah, this is going to be it for qualifying one then. So you can see we're currently... You see there, Mick Schumacher, P15's got that symbol next to him. He's a driver at risk. We're currently about 0.3 of a second clear of him. So you'd like to think we'd be safe, but you never know with F1. And, sorry, my nose is really itchy for some reason. I think it must be hay fever or something like that. I've got my window open, so I should probably close that. But yeah, Danny Rick, let's see what he can do. Currently P11, beating his teammate. We'll fast forward it a little bit, get towards the end of the lap. He's just warming up his tyres there. Got Haas in front. How far ahead is that Haas? He's far enough ahead. It shouldn't be an issue, I don't think. Yeah, you can see just how much the cars roll and pitch about there. It's not very realistic, but, you know, it is a management game. Can't expect it to be a 100% simulator. Right, so let's slow it down a little bit now. As we know, the drivers are getting close to the lap, so we'll take over manual control. Oh, it's already set everything up. Ricciardo's not got much ERS. That could be an issue. Push, push, push. Right. Let's go on board with Ricciardo then.
Maximum pace.
Yeah, that lack of ERS might be an issue. I probably should have harvested the ERS on the in-lap, but here goes Rick Bobby then. Trying to prove us all wrong. Currently P11. Can he get through from Q1? Hopefully he can. We should get through. We're McLaren. We should get through. But, like I said, the car performance is taken from the first race of the season, and McLaren were shocking at the first race of the season. So, be interesting to see. Let's go to the first sector. What has Ricciardo done? He's only yellow, so he's not improved. What about Lando? Can Lando improve? So Lando's going quicker in the first sector, so that's good. Don't want Lando getting knocked out, because he is, like I said, he is our better driver. He's higher rated. Got a yellow flag in the third sector, so someone's run wide there. It's not ideal for their qualifying. Checkered flag is out, so this is going to be the final laps. But yeah, honestly, I'm really impressed by this game, and you know, the graphics, considering, like I said, it is a management game, so the graphics don't need to be this good. Even, like I said, this is an old-gen console, so it's not, you know, not fancy, it's not got the best lighting engine. Still looks pretty good, though, especially for a first entry, so I'm quite impressed. Ricciardo's not getting faster. That is a worry. Because he's starting to drop a little bit. He's got no ERS left. Has Lando improved? The timing's bugged out, so we don't know. I think I might have messed up the ERS here. Has Mick Schumacher improved? Oh, so we're safe anyway. Good, that hasn't cost us, because I think I've messed up the ERS for our drivers there. They've got no battery left. So as they cross the line, yep, you can see both drivers just get through. Norris did improve, but still slower than Ricciardo. Not what I would have predicted. But yeah, it's not encouraging that we were 14th and 15th. I imagine we're probably going to get knocked out in the next part of qualifying. But you can see Charles Leclerc fastest. As per usual, we've got Mick Schumacher out, both Aston Martins and both Williams. Like I said, they are pretty crap at the start of the game. So let's go on to the next part of qualifying once again. So I think for the first run this time, I think we've only got one fresh set of softs left. Yeah, so what we'll do, we'll use a scrubbed set for the first run, and then the second run we'll put a fresh set on. Hopefully that can give us a little bit of a performance boost at the end of the session. It's going to be an uphill battle, though, I think, to get through to the next part of qualifying. I won't lie to you. Because, yeah, our car's not great around this track. Let's see what we can do. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in. As I said, I was a bit unsure about doing this because it is very different to what we normally do on the channel. But if you are enjoying it, obviously we can keep this going. I am enjoying the game, so I'm obviously very happy to...
Yeah, confirm.
Track should be green.
Send them both out nice and early on this first run. See what they can do. We won't take manual control for the first one. We'll let them just sort of do it, and then at the end, we'll take control and see if we can do a better job. I think Alonso is going to be the first one to set a lap, then Ricciardo, then Norris. Norris might get a little bit of traffic here, actually. Because that Mercedes is in the way. Come on, Mercedes, get out of the way. Let Russell go. Is he going to move? He has moved. Yeah, nicely done through there. Doesn't hold us up too much, I don't think. Hopefully they can both set a decent lap time. Ricciardo coming into this very tricky corner. Comes out of there. Let's skip forward. Let's see what they can do at the end of the lap. Daniel Ricciardo goes second. Lando Norris actually then goes up to second place, just behind Gasly. That's actually not too bad there from those two. Especially, like I said, that was a one set of tyres. So we'll switch the tyres over, wait till the end of the session, and then go out right at the end. You can see just how far ahead, though, that Verstappen, Sainz, Leclerc are. We're 1.5 seconds off them. So Ricciardo's in the drop zone. Lando Norris is not. That's actually a decent little time there. Right, end of the session. Ricciardo out first again. Then Norris. Let's see what we can do. Can we get both cars into the top 10? Gonna be tricky, I think. Oh. Apologies if you picked that up. Decided to leave my door open. Right, let's have a look. So you can see how close that midfield is from Hamilton down to Zhou. So that's what? P6 down to P14? It's 0.3 of a second. So it's very close. Need the drivers to nail their laps. They should have enough time to get round. Have given them plenty of time. We've got full battery this time around, so we shouldn't get the issues we had last time. We'll go with this camera angle this time around. We'll use the nose cam. Why not? Right, let's pause time there, put them on attack, push, and deploy mode for Danny Ricciardo, and he can get underway.
Let's see what pace you can do. Confirm.
Had a little bit of team radio there from Ricciardo. I'll do the same with Norris. Attack, push, deploy. Right, let's see what Ricciardo can do then. Needs to be What does he need to find? About 2 or 3 tenths of a second I think he needs to find if he wants to get through. But obviously Alonso, Tsunoda, they're going to improve. I imagine Russell's probably got a bit of time in the car as well. But it's looking very, very close. So let's see, first sector split coming up. A very tricky corner this one, throws the car in. It's a really nice camera angle this one as well. You really get to see a lot of the detail. Ricciardo is improving.
Okay, Lando,
What about Lando behind? I think Lando's definitely going to need to improve a little bit as well, and he is. It's going to be interesting to see where we end up. Like I said, the first run was a scrub set of tyres, so a little bit worn out. Let's see if the fresh tyres here can do us some justice. Remember, we do have that sponsor bonus to get into Q3, so that not only will it give us a good spot in the race, it will also give us a little bit more money. Kevin Magnussen has gone P7. He set his lap. I think one of the Alpines is next up. Is that Ocon or Alonso? Fernando Alonso, he improves massively, Jesus. He's up to P6. Gasly's improved. Verstappen goes fastest. Then Leclerc's just behind him. Got a Mercedes coming up next. So a lot of drivers improving here. It's going to be difficult if you want to get through. Ricciardo is up through the first 2 sectors though, as is Lando. So we're going to be the last ones across the line. Hopefully, that means we're going to get a good lap in. Got the other AlphaTauri. That's Tsunoda. Then we've got Bottas and Zhou to come. Just Guan Yu Zhou now. What can he do? He jumps up to 10th. What can Ricciardo do? Crosses the line. It's only 14th. That's a little bit awkward, isn't it? Not last, though. We take that. Not last. What can Norris do, though? He crosses the line. Doesn't... Oh, he does improve, but not enough to get us any position. So P13 and 14 on the grid. We take those. It's not too bad. Could have been better. But, yeah, both drivers out. Norris ahead of Ricciardo. Normality is resumed. And, yeah, so you can see what I mean. If you look at the... Actually, to be fair, Lando actually got quite a lot quicker between Q1 and Q2. But generally speaking, the times don't improve too much just because tyre wear, track acclimatization, stuff like that is not really modelled too well in the game, I'm not going to lie. But, yeah. So, there we go. 13th and 14th, first qualifying session. Let's jump into the Bahrain Grand Prix. First race of the career, of the save. Get a nice little intro here from Crofty.
Race day has arrived.
Don't know what those engineers were doing to that car in the background then.
They maximize their potential and are in a good position for the race today. Ferrari performed brilliantly during qualifying and will be very
cheeky look
pleased
at
with their
Ferrari.
great
Carlos Sainz there. To be fair, I have to say the laser scan models are actually pretty decent. The hair's not great on on the old gen, but I have seen obviously like the newer generation on PC. The graphics are actually really good. I'm very impressed with this game. Like I said, considering it is a first time, although it is made by Frontier. If you don't know who they are the people that make games like Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo. If you've seen the graphics in them, they are very impressive. So it's not a surprise the game looks as good as it does. But yeah, let's have a look. So, have a look at some reports. Got a pre-race report here. So, 13th and 14th. Like I said, expected strategies. Saying a 2-stop. I think a 1-stop is quicker around here. You can see 100% safety car deployment over the last 4 years. So, you know, expect a safety car is what the game is saying. I'm not sure if we'll get one. Right, so let's have a look at the strategy then. So, strategy in the game is suggesting to do a 2-stop. So we'll just select that for a second. But what I want to try, if we bin that off, change that to mediums, move that stop. We probably have to conserve tyres a little bit. Yeah, so if we do that, you can look at the difference. It's only about 3 seconds, isn't it? It's not that much. Tyre wear's really high, apparently. What about if we edit this? So if you look at the strategy screen, you can see what we're looking at is... so take the yellow sort of... I don't even know what that shape is. At the end, with the sort of medium stint, where you can see, obviously it dips down a bit, but then there's a white horizontal line. That is 30% tyre wear. Generally speaking on this game, tyre wear doesn't make a difference at the minute. It is getting patched at some point. But until you hit 30%, there isn't really a drop-off in tyres, so as long as your tyres stay above that, you can generally push quite hard. I'm thinking a medium might be quicker. So if we do something like this, it will allow us to push quite a bit harder. So So you've got the default strategy the game suggests. So that should take, it says estimated race time, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 50 seconds. Now, we're not going to play the game in in one time speed. We're not going to sit here for an hour and a half and do that. Do not worry. The one stop that I've made is apparently... That's not saved the... Having to do that, though, has it? So the one stop is 2 seconds slower. And then if we did that 2 stop that I've made at the bottom, that's apparently 11 seconds quicker. So I think we'll try that strategy for Danny Rick. I do tend to know the tyre wear is a little bit better than the graph says. So we'll do that for Danny Ricciardo. So he's going to go soft, medium, medium. Excuse me. For Lando, what are we going to do for him? So his is saying to do a soft, medium, soft. Is that the play? I'm not sure it is. I think we go mediums at the start for him. We push this stop. So it looks like he's got better tyre wear. If we do that. Do something like that. So both of them do a 2 stop, but they sort of switch it around so they don't get in each other's way. What are we saying, chat? Do we think that's a way to go in this one? Give it a couple of minutes, let you guys get your ideas in. Do you think we should go with this? Should we try a 1 stop with one of them? See if we can stretch the tyres out a little bit. Hopefully we can have a decent little race. Let's quickly get this up. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in, though. Let's have a look. 69 total views. Nice. Like I said, we will be doing this a couple of times a week, especially after Grand Prix. So I think it is a nice way to sort of wind down and, you know, have a chat and just get into the swing of things. United won. Fantastic. Love that. I'm a Manchester United fan, if you didn't know. So, good to see Man United winning. I think that's the strategy we're going to go with, though, to be fair. So, let's get into the Grand Prix. When it eventually loads.
With the skies mostly clear, tonight's
nice
race
low-res
low-res
car, then. Yeah, I wish they'd make these a bit more... Oh god, you can see the textures popping in there.
They'll be starting the race from the bottom half of the grid, so there's a fair bit of ground to make up. And behind them, it's Ricciardo.
Let's wait for the textures to pop in for his helmet. Jesus Christ.
So today they'll be starting from the bottom half of the grid. The race start is mere seconds away.
Dun dun. I do like that little intro sequence.
Here
it's
we
very
go
cool.
With the Bahrain
Here we go then.
Prix.
Bahrain Grand Prix.
And it's lights out, and away we go.
Let's go on board then with Danny Ricciardo. Got Lando Norris just in front of him. Let's have a look at everyone's tyres. So Lando's the only one on mediums. Right. That usually means you've either done something very wrong or very right. Let's have a look what's going on here. He's trying to go around the outside. Held position at the moment, although I think Ricciardo has just lost a spot. Yes, he has. Right, so Ricciardo, not an ideal start for him. We need to try and get Norris past Magnussen if we can. I think he is a little bit slower than the cars in front. I don't want to lose the DRS train of the drivers in front. We'll keep it on 1 speed just for a couple of laps, then we'll start to speed it up. Like I said, don't really want to sit here for an hour and a half doing this, but a decent start for Norris. Ricciardo has lost a place. He is still ahead of the slower cars behind, though, so it's not too bad. He can recover from here. There is 57 laps of this Grand Prix to go. Let's go to the off-board cameras for a little bit. Yeah, you can see everyone on the softs apart from Lando, so it's going to be interesting to see if we can do anything with Lando Norris. I was actually supposed to be pushing these, weren't I?
If you can, push.
Alright.
Yes, I was meant to be pushing. My bad, forgot to change that.
Okay, understood.
You can see the engineers there telling the driver to push. I really love that feature. You see Mercedes there, that is Hamilton is ahead of Perez in the foreground, having a little bit of a battle. It is really cool to see this. Yeah, let's just quickly talk you through some of the UI then. Well, I've got a chance. Obviously, if we look at Norris, we'll look at the bottom right. So you've got your pace, you can tell the driver to push more or less. If you press A on it, it brings up obviously your strategy. And so your plan strategy, you then got the fuel. So same sort of thing, you can change, if you want to conserve fuel, you want to push fuel a little bit more, keep it on balance. And then you have your ERS modes, which are super important in this game. So you can harvest, so if you want to rebuild it. Neutral just keeps it at like a constant level every lap. And then you have deploy, which is best for getting like absolute lap time. But then you have defend and overtake, so you can use your battery to try and sort of defend a position, try and overtake someone. But obviously if you use all of it, you then have no battery left and you're dead easy to overtake. Battery management is so important in this game. So we'll see some of that as the race goes on. We don't want to use too much of it too early on. Let's push up to 2 times speed. I tend to find if you go anything above 2 times, the simulation gets a bit buggy and it becomes dead easy to overtake. Or be overtaken by a car, whereas if you're in 2 times or 1 time speed, you can generally defend quite well, so I don't tend to go above 2 times speed. So yeah, let's try and get this Grand Prix underway. Like I said, doing decently at the minute. You can see on the timing tower in the top left, we're in a big DRS train, as DRS is now enabled. It goes all the way up to Fernando Alonso in P7. Can we get a move done here with Norris? Getting very close. Thought about it, is not going to go for that move. We're getting quite close to the back of Sonoda, who does have DRS, thankfully. But he is starting to lose DRS. We might want to... DRS, sorry. We might want to think about trying to get past Sonoda here, if we can. Wait till the main straight, I think. Use a little bit of deploy in the final sector just to get close, and then we'll try and use overtake mode on the back straight to get close. So we'll put it into deploy mode now. Yeah, you see, he used a lot off that final corner. He might have to get the move done beforehand. Oh, Sonoda chops him off there. Put it into overtake mode. Try and get this move done on the back straight. See, using the battery in the slipstream. DRS open. We've both got DRS. And yeah, you can see our straight line speed problem is causing quite a big problem here. Can use some more ERS. Can we get him on the second time of asking? Round the outside. Go down to 1 time speed for this. It looks like Sonoda is just going to hold it on. Can Ricciardo go around the outside? No, he can't.
Okay,
go to deploy mode. Oh, he's hanging it around the outside. It's a good little battle between these two here. Can he use the battery on the exit? He can. He's got to run. Oh, and Sonoda wiggles about a little bit, and unfortunately doesn't get that move done. So yeah, so you can see how using the battery modes there really did make a difference, but I imagine Sonoda probably used a little bit of defend. So I'm going to just speed it forward a little bit. Back on board with Norris. So it's going to be very difficult to overtake because everyone's got DRS on each other. So we need to be a little bit patient here and just see what we can do. I said, who is leading the train at the minute? It's Bottas. Oh, Norris has gone a bit wide there. Cost him a little bit of time. Not got any damage, I don't think. Sorry. Let's have a look. Yeah, no damage. Not an issue.
They've gone wide!
They've gone wide! Apparently. Oh, Ricciardo in the background, didn't even notice, has now got past.
Nicely done, Daniel, nicely done.
Good to see. Ricciardo making moves up the grid, fantastic stuff. Norris still P13 for now, but I think his strategy will come into it a little bit later on. I think, obviously, being on the mediums at the minute, not going to be quite as quick as the cars around him. So I think being able to keep up with the soft runners early on is it's definitely good news for us. Let's put it back into 2 times speed. Try and get a little bit deeper into this Grand Prix. Let me know, where do you think we can get in this race? I genuinely think we can get points, but let me know what you think. Can we try and get McLaren into the points at the first race, which is not something they did in real life. So can we already be better than a real life Formula 1 team principal? Be interesting to see. So Norris all over the back of Kevin Magnussen here. Not going to use any battery just yet. See, we are losing time in a straight line. Just that drag that this car's got, really not helping us out. You can see we've already, if we look at Sebastian Vettel down here, we've already dropped these guys, so it's good to see. Definitely a lot quicker. Right, I think we're going to try and get an overtake done on the main straight. So we're going to use a little bit of deploy here. Can we get a move done? Don't think we're going to be able to get it done there. So we'll go back to deploy. So deploy tends to use it sort of evenly out of every single corner, whereas overtake sort of just dumps the battery at the best overtaking opportunities. don't think we're going to be able to get this move done into the final corner, although we are getting closer up the inside. And I think we have actually got that move done. So we are now up into P12. Got that move done.
McLaren with a great overtake. Let's
What's
see
the
what
replay of
happened
that?
there. Watch this. We're looking at Lando Norris.
Cheeky little dive up the inside of the final corner. And that is us up into P12 with Lando. Ricciardo just in the background there.
And they get past, which moves them up a position.
So we're making moves, we're moving up the grid.
Team watching on and clearly loving that.
The engineers get a little bit enthusiastic there for a battle over P12. But positions are positions, I guess. And he is moving up. You can see Ricciardo starting to drop off a little bit. We need to try and make sure he stays within a second. So we need a little bit of deploy here, just so we can close back up a little bit to the back of Kevin Magnussen. Don't want him falling out the DRS. He's actually going to go for an overtake here. Can he get it done around the outside? It'd be a good move if he can get that done, but I think Magnussen's probably going to squeeze him out. Yes, he does. And he drops behind. Oh, Norris is going side by side up here. Didn't notice this. Norris up the inside of Ocon. You know, in real life, Alpine and McLaren in a very big scrap at the minute. I think he's got that move done, has he? Yes, he has.
Doing a good job so far.
Oh, Ocon's coming back at him, though, in the slipstream. I think we might have to see some overtake on the exit of this corner. No, oh my god, Norris absolutely dived it down there. Gets that move done. Going to use some overtake on the exit. Got that in place.
Yeah,
Can we try and get past Guan Yu Zhou at the same time? Yes, we can. Norris absolutely flying right now. Up into P10. Great stuff from him.
Okay, mate.
Nice and late on the brakes. I think we have, however, lost the DRS to the cars in front, which is not ideal. Have to see as he comes through the detection point. Yes, he has. Right, so we need to use some deploy here. We need to get him back into the DRS. Ricciardo, he's now battling Zhou, so Zhou lost a couple of places there. Good pass from Norris, though. Can he get back in that DRS? So it's going to be crucial for his race, I think, to try and get into the DRS. Should he get a good exit off here? The DRS detection point is just up here. I think he is within a second. Yes, he is, so he's got DRS. Absolutely huge for the Grand Prix, that. Sort of reconnects the DRS train, and he can get pulled along by those cars in front, who are probably quicker, to be fair, than our car is. So it's good to see. Right, back up to 2 times pace. And yeah, we can get back into it. Let's have a look at what you guys are saying in the chat. Like I said, I hope you are enjoying the stream. Do let me know. It's good to have some interaction in the chat with you guys. As Lando Norris closes up to this train. Getting very close actually there to the back of Pierre Gasly. Can we maybe think about getting a move? Probably not into hit. Like I said, we don't really want to use too much of our battery early on. You can see we've used quite a lot already. So what I'm going to do is actually put it down to harvest mode. That way we'll use less over the course of a lap, try and recharge that battery, and you know, put us in a better shape later on, because all these guys are probably going to pit before we do. See, oh, nearly 3 wide up ahead, but Alonso's got that place. He is now back to the head of the train. What's going on with Ricciardo? He's still behind Guan Yu Zhou. Should maybe try and think about trying to get him past Zhou, actually. So we'll put him into overtake, see if we can get the move done on the next DRS straight. He's just after this corner. Use battery off there. He's a little bit too far back, I think. He's probably not going to get that move done. No, so we'll go back down to standard. Norris still in this battle. Russell's actually got past Alonso, and so has Gasly. So, great little scrap here between all these guys. Norris right on the back of it, 10 laps in. Tyre wear's not looking too bad, to be fair, for Lando. He's actually ahead of schedule, so we can probably push him. Do we convert this into a one-stop? I think it might be worth trying to do a one-stop with Lando instead, you know. He's actually having to defend a little bit from Magnussen here. He's using a lot of his battery by the looks of it. Didn't manage to get the move done, though, so no harm done. Should probably take him off harvest while he's being attacked. Oh, Magnussen's gone for the move. Didn't get it done. Can we try and get a move on Gasly? No, just going to stick behind. Like I said, we don't really want to use our battery too much. Just want to charge it up, make sure that Ricciardo doesn't lose this pack. How's he looking? His tyre wear's not too bad either, to be fair. Nope. Lando pulling out. Is he going to go for a move on Gasly around the outside? Oh my word! No, he got squeezed out a little bit. Tried to tried to slow it down, but pressed the complete wrong button. The controls are a little bit fiddly on console, I won't lie. Norris is nearly out the DRS range here, but just about. Should still be within it. You come across? Yeah, he's still got DRS. That's good. Some very quick cars behind us though in a straight line. Is anyone going to try anything? No, they're not. And we just close straight back up to Gasly, so that's fine. When are we pitting? So the pit window opens in 5 laps for Lando. Like I said, it might be worth. If we look at it in this view, sorry, you can see that so that white line is his actual tyre wear, and the yellow sort of downward is projected. You can see we've got better tyre wear than they thought we'd have. So maybe we can try and stretch this out, go to a set of hards, and do a one-stop, and try and jump, well, all these guys, really. Might even be able to get us into, you know, that fight up the road. We're about 6 seconds behind the fight where it's Hamilton, Perez, and Bottas. Might be able to get us up in that fight, to be fair. Doing one less pit stop. It's something we definitely need to think about. I don't think anyone's going to be coming in this early. When's Ricciardo's pit window? Opens next lap around. So actually, we might want to try and... Oh!
Okay, I had a lockout.
Ricciardo, just as we go on board, has a lock-up. Nearly rear-ends Guan Yu Zhou. But I think he still got DRS. Yes, he did. Not cost him too much, to be fair, considering what happened. Let's have a look at the replay.
Now look at this. Daniel Ricciardo involved here. Oh, and there's
dear.
the lockup. That's the last thing they'll have wanted.
Went very wide. Hasn't affected him too much, though, so that's, you know, we don't mind those. He's just pushing. But his pit window... Oh, Lando's gained a position.
We can take a look now.
What's happened here, then?
Let's look at this.
Oh, that's Sonoda. We don't care about that. We've missed Lando gain a place. What has happened there? Lando's overtaken Gasly and we missed it because we were watching Ricciardo be an idiot. We're not going to get a replay for that? Nah, that's a shame. But yeah, it's going well so far, considering, like I said, we started 13th and 14th. Ricciardo's still down in P13, so not ideal for him, and he has just lost the DRS. So actually, we might... Oh, he's just overtaken Guan Yu Zhou as well. It's not ideal, really. You're going to see, look at that gap, it's 1.1 seconds. By the end of the straight, they're going to lose so much time. And actually, Zhou's just going to fly straight back past him, so... Probably not the best idea to overtake him. Norris, though, has gone for a move on George Russell. We missed that. Hopefully we'll get a replay of that one. Yes, he's got that move done. Fantastic stuff there. And now can he try and get past Fernando as well? He's going to go for it. Lando Norris on an absolute madness here. 2 corners, 2 places. He's up into P7. What a great little race he's having.
Nice job, mate. Nice job.
Use some ERS. Let's see if we can push away from these guys.
Good job.
And Mclaren with a great overtake.
Let's have a look at that overtake on Alonso. We didn't get a replay for the Russell one, unfortunately, but DRS open, down the inside, nice and easy. And we're ahead of Alpine's star driver. And that's us up into, what is that, P9? P9 or P8? P7! Oh, wow. It's a lot of points then, so let's speed time up a little bit. We're using a lot of ERS. We want to see if we can break the DRS on this lap to Fernando Alonso. What's the gap? Half a second? Can we get half a second in a sector chat? Is it possible? Probably not. Probably just wasting the ERS, to be fair. We'll give it a go. Out that corner. Yeah, not going to break the 1 second window, so we'll put it back down into neutral. Not waste too much battery here. But yeah, Norris is having a very good race. Ricciardo, he started to drop off a little bit. I think that battle he's having with Guan Yu Zhou is really costing him. He's lost the DRS to the cars in front, and these two are just losing so much time now. Just DRSing back past each other. Need Ricciardo to do something to try and get back. His tyres are going off as well, 39%. So, it's not ideal. Lando's up 56%. How's his tyre wear? It's still got way more than that graph. We've got a yellow flag. What's happened there then? Oh.
We've just had a car run wide.
Magnussen ran wide, but that has allowed Ricciardo to get, well, to get re-overtaken. But these guys are now a lot closer to Ocon. So good to see. Hamilton and Bottas are in the pits. So there goes a few drivers. Is Russell going to go for that overtake? Nope, stays behind for now. He'll probably overtake us on this straight, to be fair, but I imagine Russell, if Hamilton's just come in, he'll probably be in at the end of this lap. Is he going to go for the move? No, he's not, actually. Quite surprised. We've got pretty decent pace so far in this one. Definitely keeping up. Norris now in P5. This is what I'm talking about. Is it worth us doing a Mercedes from today and actually trying to go for a one-stop? Because I think it might be, you know. I think that might be the way. We've got, you know, decent pace. It's not fantastic, but see, Hamilton's way down the road.
It's a race position gained for a Mercedes.
Say that Russell has just overtaken us. Where's Ricciardo? Oh, Verstappen and Sainz are in. Oh, Russell didn't pit. That's interesting. Pit window is open for Norris. For Ricciardo, I think it's going to be his pit stop lap. Yes, it is. So we'll come into the pits. What's Ricciardo doing? He's going on to another set of mediums. So he will box at the end of that lap. Lando Norris has just taken P3. Podium position. What is this?
McLaren are flying now.
Do you know what? I think we put him on standard. Use a little bit less tyres and just keep going till we get to 30%. I think we can get this race done in one stop. And potentially get a decent little position. If we look at pits, pretty much everyone is doing a two-stop in this race, I think. So, yeah, I think this could be the way, you know. Just skip through. Go back to the interval view. I think we just keep going with Norris. See how far he can go into the race. Here comes Max Verstappen. Verstappen going to go for the move? No, not quite yet. He is there, though. The Red Bull driver. Sainz has just pitted. He's come out behind Lando Norris. Ricciardo's in the pits. He's just made his pit stop. What's going on here? Is Lando still in front? Yes, he is. Lando's doing a good job here, you know. He's on it. You know, this is lap 18. If we get these to go 20 laps, surely the hards can go 30. Oh. What? What were those? Please tell me I'm not the only one that saw floating tyres in the background. What the hell? Oh dear. I said it is quite a new game, so. Oh dear. I'm not entirely sure what was going on there. I'm not going to lie to you. Oh dear. Yeah, do you know what? I think we go for the one stop. Norris is going to get overtaken by Verstappen here, but that's to be expected, to be honest. But I think if we can stick with Verstappen, although I say that, we've already lost DRS to him because he pushed us out wide. Nice one.
Maximum pace. Confirm.
Yeah, I think we can do a one stop here.
Leclerc has pitted.
Leclerc's in the pits. Let's keep going, see what we can do. I think the Ferrari's definitely just going to fly straight past us there, but we should get DRS. Oh, not sure what's just happened there, but we've got the DRS on the Ferrari, so if we can stay within the DRS...
Oh, and Ferrari just gained a place.
Use the Ferraris to try and sort of drag us along a little bit, maybe at a slightly faster pace. I think this can work, you know. We might not get a podium, because I think, you know, Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, they're definitely gone. Perez might be a bit of a stretch, but we can definitely get some decent points here. See how Ricciardo's doing. Oh, he's side by side with Magnussen for P12. So not having, you know, the same kind of race his teammate is.
That's a new race position for Haas.
Let's bump him up a little bit, see what he can do. He's going to have DRS. Magnussen does not. See if we can try and catch up to Esteban Ocon just in front. 1.3 is the gap there. Norris, oh, he's lost the DRS. Don't know. We're not going to come in. I'm going to keep going.
Gain a position.
It's still only 44%, and like I said, you can go to 30% without losing any pace. I think we just keep going. Genuinely, I think we can get Norris onto a one-stop. Let's we edit the strategy. Sorry, there is still racing going on in the background. We take that out. We make... What, are you not going to let me do that now? Right, it's being weird, so it's not going to let me edit it, so we'll just have to sort of do it manually. But oh, Ricardo's now in the DRS of Ocon, so that's something at least. He's fighting for P11, so it's not, it's not going to be a great first race for Ricardo. And I think this, obviously we've not helped him with a strategy because he is going to have to do a 2-stop, and Norris is doing a 1, so it obviously gives Norris an advantage. But like I said, we're thinking about replacing Ricardo. Definitely needs to try and pick his pace up a little bit. You can see Perez and Hamilton are catching us quite quickly now.
And McLaren with a great overtake.
Oh, Ricardo's overtaken Ocon. Not entirely sure why he's done that. Let's have a look at the replay.
Daniel Ricciardo involved here.
Oh, it's going to be a nice easy DRS pass, straight past him. Yeah, not looking too bad considering our cars, really dragging slow in a straight line, are we? I'll take this at the minute. Ricciardo P11, Norris all the way up in P4, but I don't know how realistic that is. Apparently we're not going to make it to the end of the race. That's mildly concerning. We just keep... What lap can we get Norris to? Oh, got a yellow flag, sector 1. What's happened there? I think we've had a spin. We're going to get a replay, see what happened there. Oh, Lance Stroll locked up. The best driver in Formula 1. Oh, wow. He's gone to absolute Narnia there. In their battle with, I think that's Mick Schumacher they're battling with, the two Aston Martins.
And it may have really hurt their overall chances.
Generic sad NPC there. We've got up to 2 speed. That Alpine is very quick in a straight line, Jesus. How's Norris doing? 39%. He can keep going for a little bit longer. So what I mean, we've done 20. This is lap 22 now on mediums. And there's what? 35 to go? I think we can do this 1-stop, I think we can do it. So I have to hope, obviously, that Lando can sort of have some half-decent pace, but I think he can do it. We'll put him up too aggressive a little bit, just so we can get a little bit more pace. Try and slow down how quickly Perez and Hamilton are catching behind. But I think, boys, and girls, then the girls watching, we don't discriminate here. I think we can get top 7 maybe with Lando. Oh, Ricciardo re-overtaking Ocon. Oh, is that the Mercedes I see? We're slowly oh, Vettel's run wide. We're slowly catching that train in front, and that's good. Yeah, you see 1.3. We can catch onto that train and get the DRS on them. Speaking of which, let's use a little bit of ERS, try and get the catch up to those guys if we can. Norris on 34% tyres now. I think we can probably go 1 more lap with him. He's going to have to come in. I don't think Ricciardo got DRS there, unfortunately, but he should get it by the end of the lap. Just keep using a little bit more battery with Ricciardo. I think if he gets a good exit off this corner, use a lot of battery there. Yeah, he should be within a second. So we're going to go back down to deploy, and he is within a second, so that's DRS. And he can use that to drag him along now. Norris. What's the gap? The gap's down to 5.7. Those guys are so quick. I think we're going to have to pit him this lap. He's done 24. Surely we can get a set of hards to the end. Yeah, we're going to risk it. Put a set of hards on. Go to the end and pray that he can make those tyres last. I'm confident he can. Although we do need to do a bit of lift and coast, because we're not really in a good place with fuel right now. I think with Ricciardo, just need to conserve a little bit more battery because we use quite a bit. But we're in the battle for, what, top 8 there with Ricciardo if we play our cards right. P11 at the minute, so we could get a double points finish here. Lando Norris into the pits. Let's be interested to see where he comes out, actually. Nice little camera angle there. Where is he? He's going to come out behind all of these guys. So that's not great. But he doesn't have to stop again, and everyone in front of him does. So, you know, it's not too bad. Can those tyres get to the end? We'll probably have to go standard, but I think we can get to the end on them. Ricciardo's just been overtaken, so that's not ideal. Time we're on 8:30. Yeah, so we'll finish the rest of this Grand Prix about halfway through it at the moment. And you know, we're P11 and 14, but I genuinely think we can get some decent points in this. We're not stopping Norris again. Let's see what we can do. Are we going to overtake him behind us? No, pretty safe there. Oh my god, it's only 3 wide in front. Don't know what they're all playing at. Ocon's on hards. See, all these guys are stopping. It's just, whether Norris has got the pace, really. Don't want him to fall too far back from these guys. Because this train goes all the way up to P7 at the minute. So I think Norris will probably come out ahead of all of these guys. But it's just if he has a pace to the end, really. Decent race, though, from Ricciardo. I said he did start quite far down, to be fair, so... Right, where's Ricciardo? P11, he's on the back of the DRS train. Like I said, we probably need to just harvest some battery with him. And just use it when we get a chance to maybe go for a spot, because like I said, overtaking is really difficult with the DRS train. Norris is falling away from that train in front. They've all got DRS to help them, which obviously definitely going to help them out. Apologies, my family decided to come in and out of my room while I'm trying to stream. Probably need to save some fuel with Lando, because apparently he's not going to make it to the end of the race. It's not really going to plan at the minute. I think we need to push a little bit harder with Lando, because he's just not got the pace at the moment. He's falling away from that train, and that's my worry, because I think these are the guys we are fighting. So... need to try and pick up Lando's pace, definitely, if we want to get some points. Lap 29 at the minute. Ricciardo's starting to drop away a little bit, so I might have to put him back up to neutral. Just so we can... oh. We have Guan Yu Zhou going for an overtake here. Can he hold him off? Yes, he can. Nicely done by Ricciardo. So Ricciardo using his experience there to get that place secured. Yeah, these guys in front are having a massive battle, but they're just not able to get past Gasly. He's doing a really good job of defending, to be fair. Norris back here, just saving some more fuel. 6.7 off the back of that train now. Obviously, I think a pit stop around here, I think we said, was like 28 seconds, so he's probably going to come out a long way ahead. But he's not really got the pace I hoped he would have. And his tyres are going to be really slow by the end of this one, so... going to be interesting to see what we can do with Lando Norris. Danny Rick's still on the train, like we said. He's very close to the back of Ocon, actually. Could maybe go for a move, but I don't really want to waste his ERS at the moment. Let's have a look. Thank you to all of you who are tuning in. 7 likes, that's quite a lot for one of my streams, so thank you to everyone who has left a like. Do massively appreciate it. But especially for a first time stream on a new game, because like I said, I haven't streamed this game before. First time I've really played it properly, so yeah, thank you for that. It's good to see that it's getting a positive reaction, let's say. And yeah, we'll do more of these streams. Like I said, we'll probably try and do about 2 of these a week because they're quite easy to do. I don't have to do too much practice. Ricciardo, is he going to try and get a move done here on Ocon? No, he's not. He thought about it, which is it's encouraging at least. Probably go back to balance now with him. Do you know what? I think Ricciardo can maybe get this move done out of the final corner. So we're going to put him up to overtake. We'll use some of the battery off the final corner. Nah, he's just not got the straight line speed. So I think those upgrades that are going to reduce drag that we've got coming are definitely going to be helpful. He's probably going for the rear ring was probably quite a good decision, I think. But yeah, it's quite an interesting game. You can see DRS is quite powerful. You see how quickly Lando's fallen off. How, he was very quick in the first stint, moved up all those places, and now because he's not got DRS, he's just falling away from these guys. But I still think, how far is he? He's only about 12, 13... actually, we'll probably go to the leader view. He's only 13 seconds behind Bottas, so it's likely, when Bottas pits, he's probably going to come out ahead of him. So still a good result up for grabs. I don't really want to fast forward too quickly. Sod it. We'll fast forward while the train's still intact. As long as Ricciardo doesn't fall out the DRS, we should be fine. Which he is not. You can see on the map there, so we've got that big train that Ricciardo's in. You've got Bottas in P6. That big train, then Norris is just off the back of it. Obviously he's losing time every straight because he doesn't have DRS, whereas all these guys do, so... DRS train's very powerful in this game. Ricciardo's pit window is open, which should, I imagine, mean that some guys are going to be coming in soon, because Ricciardo's on a 2-stop. All these guys are on a 2-stop. So it's going to be interesting to see what goes on. Got a yellow flag for something there. Not quite sure what's happened. Not one of our drivers, though. That's the positive. Gasly's ran wide. So he's dropped down a couple of places. When are people going to be coming into the pits? Ricciardo's coming in next lap, so we'll go back on board with Ricciardo. See what's going on with him. He's got 99% battery, so I think pit stop time. Let's try and use a little bit of this battery. See if we can maybe gain a place in this DRS train.
Okay, use deploy.
Up to 2 times speed.
Okay, understood.
Going to use some off the exit here. He's going to have DRS. Can he try and get this move done? Probably no. He went pretty late on the brakes, to be fair, but he's not going to be able to get that move done. He's going to sit behind Gasly for now. See if we can maybe get a move done into the second to last corner. Officially. Oh, he's got a run. Not quite got the straight line speed though, so we'll put it onto overtake. See what we can do on this back straight. Oh, yellow flag. We've got a big crash apparently. What's happened here then? We've got a VSC in fact. Oh, that's really bad timing there.
Virtual safety car deployed.
Well, Ricciardo's coming in anyway. For another set of mediums. Oh, that's unfortunate. Let's have a look at this replay then. What has happened here?
Take a look at the replay. Right,
So it's Mick Schumacher and Sebastian Vettel coming into turn 10. Oh, that's a weird one. Vettel's got some damage.
It's caused absolute carnage.
Well, I wouldn't say carnage, Crofty. You've been a little bit over the top there.
That's going to be a big blow to the team. Will they be able
Oh
to
no!
recover?
Their battle
We'll
over
see.
17th place. Well, that's brought out a VSC. How long is that VSC going to stay out for? Because we're pitting this lap. And I don't know how many other people will. Ah! Unfortunately the VSC just ended as we all came in. So we don't get the bonus. From,
And virtual safety car ending. Virtual
from
safety
the VSC.
car
But
ending.
yeah, this is going to be important now. How far ahead is Norris going to come out of all of these guys? Ricciardo, 2.5 second pit stop. Might have to use a bit of ERS because he does need to close up to the back of George Russell. Yes, I know it's completed. Give me this back. 1.6 behind. He's going to have to use a lot of battery here because we need to stick with Russell. If we lose Russell, then Ricciardo's race is going to be pretty ruined. But you can see Russell's come out, what, 10 seconds behind? How's Norris's tyre wear looking? Oh, he's probably going to have to go back down to standard. Ricciardo, we're using a lot of battery because we need, like I said, we've just got to get with Russell. If we can get with him, get the DRS on him, he will pull us along and everything will be hunky-dory, but it's looking pretty close. You might not get it, in fact. Let's get a mega exit off that corner. Have we got it? No, we've not. Have to keep using deploy then. See if we can get it down this straight. This is a bit of an issue, I won't lie to you. Come on, Ricciardo, please get there. Williams, hold him up. Damn. And then the Williams is going to hold us up, in fact. Unless it gives us DRS, or is it going to get out of the way? Oh, it's got out of the way just before we get DRS. Fantastic! Great driving from the Williams there, and that's absolutely screwed us. Right, Norris, where are you? You're up here. You're only 9 seconds ahead of Russell. I don't know if this strategy play is going to work out, guys. No one else pitting this lap. We're on lap 40, so they're going to be pitting soon. Got, what, 9 seconds over Russell. A lot of people in front still have to pit. speed it up a little bit, see what we can do.
DRS enabled. DRS enabled.
Wait, what? Why was DRS not enabled? Still a lot of people not pitting yet, so they must be going on to softs at the end. So that's going to have to keep an eye out on that, because obviously be very quick on softs. That DRS train's now sort of broken up. Verstappen gets the fastest lap of the race. Sainz is still leading though. And Ricciardo is just not quite in the DRS, I don't think. No, he's not. He's so close to it. Right, they're all into the pits. Norris has now come out. Norris is P7. Ricciardo is actually P10. Oh, wow. How's that happened then? So we've got about 13 laps to go. Ricciardo is in the points. And him, Bottas and Russell are all on a DRS train, and they're all catching Lando Norris, who is in P7. So this has actually gone a lot better than I thought it would. I didn't think Ricciardo would jump up quite as far as he has done. Quite impressed, actually, to be fair, with Ricciardo. It's good recovery. Like I said, we were slagging him off a little bit earlier on, but he's done quite well. To recover like that, so good work for Daniel. And get double points. Consider where we started, P13 and 14. Get a double points finish. That's absolutely crazy for the first race of the season. Guan Yu Zhou's in as well, so actually Ricciardo is going to be P9. Norris is P6. Ricciardo has done an absolutely stonking job then, because he's actually P9. And considering where our car is, like I said, our car is supposed to be the 8th best car, and we've got double points finish in the first race. Am I just the best team manager in the world? Look, it's all the evidence is right in front of you. Ricciardo is still on the back of this train, but they are starting to catch Norris a bit now. A bit worryingly quickly, but I can't really afford to push Norris too much harder. I think if Norris gets caught, the only hope is that he can stick with the DRS train. There's only, what, 12 laps to go? 13 laps to go for Lando. Hopefully he can hold on. He is, obviously, he's losing way too much time, though. Ricciardo's just at the fastest lap of the race.
Okay,
What?
gotcha.
Looks like Ricciardo heard us slacking him off.
Okay.
Jesus. Don't know how he's done that, but Ricciardo, fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so that'll be an extra point if you can hold on to it. Probably won't, though. Oh, they're catching up to Bottas. Is Russell going to go for the move? He is. On the person he replaced last season, Bottas versus Russell. And I think, yeah, Russell has got that move done. Bottas not able to hold on. And Russell gets that place. Although, oh, Bottas going for a cheeky one. Trying to go around the outside. Can he get that move done? No, he can't. And Russell takes that position. See, Danny Rick just sticking behind there. Like I said, you can see we've got him on Harvest for the ERS. Lando just up the road. You can see that battle in the background. Put it back up to 2 times speed. Let's change from last lap. When did I change that? There we go. Sorry, not leader. We want it on intervals. You can see the gap 2.1 now to that train behind. He's probably going to get caught in the next couple of laps, but if you can stick in the DRS, it's still going to be a double points finish. On course at the minute for, what's that, 8 for P6, 3 for the 9th and fastest lap. 11 points, honestly. For the first race, I'll definitely take that. These two in front squabbling. Ricciardo, though, not going to go for the pass, I don't think. Yeah, Bottas and Russell have an absolute ding-dong fight here. Russell obviously took Bottas' seat. So a little bit of animosity there between these two, as they both try and close down Norris. But the fact is, these two fighting is actually helping Norris out a little bit. I just don't think Norris is going to get to the end with his tyres not dropping below 30% is the issue. Whereas we know that Ricciardo definitely can. Yeah, Ricciardo's on target with his tyre wear, but Norris is going to be a tight one, and I think Norris has now been caught. Yes, he has. Oh my word, look at the straight line speed. Jesus. Bottas nearly hit him there. So I imagine Lando's probably going to get swallowed up in the next lap or so. Then it's just a case of, can he stick within the DRS of these guys? Or is he going to fall right way down the field? Bottas probably going to go for the move here, so we'll slow it down a bit. Let Bottas have his move done. Oh, Lando doesn't want to give it up though, does he? Yeah, there goes Bottas. Nice and easy. Straight past, and now Lando just needs to try and stick with him.
We're now at P7. P7 at the moment.
if he can, although it's going to be a little bit difficult. So if he just gets a DRS, he can just get towed along then by Bottas. And it won't be too bad. Although he's getting very close to losing the DRS there, actually. Comes around the final corner. Needs to try and use it now to try and close back up, because he is over a second. Gets it back under a second nicely, and then he'll get DRS again. Oh, wow. Where did Russell come from? Hopefully we get a replay of that.
It's a race position gained for Mercedes. We can
Yeah, Russell has absolutely dive bombed us there.
Here's George Russell.
Yeah, fair play. Good move from Russell. He moves up a place. I think it's important now. We're probably going to have to use a little bit of battery here with Norris, because he needs to stay within a second, because Ricciardo's stuck behind him. Might actually be worth us getting Ricciardo in front at this point. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So the next opportunity we get... Don't like doing team mode. Actually, we'll keep it as it is for now. If we start to get a little bit, you know, we start to lose touch. So let's reset that. Then we might have to consider swapping Ricciardo and Norris around. But for now, we'll stick with it. Car's gone off there. One of the Haas drivers at the end of Sector 2. Norris going very quick in a straight line. Can't get a move done there, though. Oh, Russell going very slowly. What's happened to him? Oh, dear. Ricciardo's going to just get that move done anyway. Good stuff. Ricciardo, I need you to use a bit of deploy here. You need to catch back up to Bottas.
McLaren have got some momentum going.
Ricciardo gets 2 places. Let's have a look at this replay.
Take a look at the McLaren.
3 wide into turn 3. Ricciardo up the inside. Cuts the corner a little bit there. Cheeky. All on different tyres, so 3 different strategies on 2 different cars. Ricciardo comes out on top in that one. It might be worth now, actually maybe not. I say it might be worth using Norris just to try and hold Russell up and let Ricciardo get a better position, but I don't want I don't want Norris to fall too far back, because Alonso and Ocon are trying to catch up for Alpine, and they're, like I said, they're our main rivals in this season. So we definitely do not want to be giving them any opportunities. Russell is going to go for the move again on Norris. Gets it done. They both get DRS, though, so they should be able to
with a great overtake.
Catch up. And Ricciardo is now the one up into P6. So after all the slacking off we've done this stream about potentially replacing Ricciardo with Piastri or whoever, Ricciardo is currently the one on to score the most points. So, yeah, definitely proven us wrong. There's only about 6 laps of this Grand Prix to go. So, like I said, just do the one race on this stream. They do take quite a while to get through. But double points does appear to be on the cards. It just depends. Where are we going to come? Obviously, we're about 13 seconds behind Hamilton, so unless Hamilton pits again, which I don't think he will, it's looking unlikely that we're going to get any more points than that. We have just lost a place there, unfortunately.
Romeo just moved up a place.
But yeah, this has gone an awful lot better than my Aston Martin one did, because we didn't score points in the Aston Martin one. Or, like I said, I did half a season there. We didn't get points till Spain, I want to say. I don't think we got points till Spain. I think I did up to France with that one. I got second at France, and then you know, we put it on pause so we could start the stream save. But I might do another save and just do that as episode, because I do quite enjoy this. Ricciardo's just overtaken Bottas there. Couple of laps of this Grand Prix to go. Danny Rick's probably going to just get absolutely flown past. No, Bottas doesn't go for the move. Norris, unfortunately, has dropped out of DRS now. Although, I think, has he just got it back? No, he's lost the DRS. That could be an issue, but he's got 8 seconds back to Alonso. Surely he's not going to lose that much time. Although, saying that, his tyres are now at 35% and there's 4 laps to go. That's not ideal. I think Lando might be in a bit of trouble there. Ricciardo's going to be our main hope of points, I think. He's lost the fastest lap as well. Russell's pinched the fastest lap off. Words. Russell has pinched the fastest lap off us. Hard to say when you're a lispy boy. Yeah, let's just see what we can do. Fast forward it a little bit. And then we'll do the final lap at full speed. Oh, we are catching some back markers, though. That could really screw things up. Oh, Norris. Norris. He's at 30% tyre wear. Ocon's now just 3 seconds. He's lost so much time.
Can we change tires?
We're just going to have to go aggressive with him. Ricardo's just lost a
Maximum
spot.
pace.
Can he get it back? He's trying to go around the outside. Brave move if he can do it, but I don't think he will. Nope. He's going to slot in behind the Alfa Romeo, and we're catching up to traffic now. And blue flags in this game don't really work, so this is going to be quite interesting. I think Bottas will probably get DRS, actually. No, he doesn't. So we're going to be the lead car to catch the traffic. That's probably a good thing, I'm not going to lie. Russell? What's happened to Russell? He's dropped off massively. So it looks like it's just me versus Bottas then for P6. I think, did we get DRS there? On the back markers? Huge if we did. Yes, we did. That's really going to help us defend. Is that Williams going to get out of the way? Not really. Although I think we've... Yeah, you can see, look at what's happened there. We've got DRS off him. And he's held Russell up. Sorry, Bottas up. An absolute treat there. Norris has got 1.8 seconds now. He could end up out of the points here. It's not ideal. Only 1 lap to go for Verstappen, the race leader. I think he's going to win this one. Right, Ricciardo, there's only a lap to go. Whack it up to deploy. Use all your battery. Oh, Norris, they're right there. 1.4 seconds. They are battling each other, though, so maybe... No, they're in a second. Got to put him on deploy as well, I think, and just pray that he can get to the end, although that's not actually enough battery for deploy. Let's go neutral, I think. Ricciardo just needs to bolt now. 1 lap to go. I think he's probably safe from Bottas behind. Sainz has just overtaken Leclerc, but it's all about what can Lando Norris do. So there they are. The 2 Alpines get very close. I think just go for it, Lando.
100% pace, 100% pace.
Yeah.
Whack it to defend. They're not really getting close to him, though, down this straight. Can Lando hold on? Come on, Lando. Oh, there is actually a setting I can change. Driver, hold back cars behind. This is going to be crucial. Can we get a double points finish against our big rivals as well? We don't want these guys trying to get past us. Oh, it's getting dicey. Max Verstappen has won by 0.3 of a second for Carlos Sainz, so well done to him. But for us, we need to whack it into defend, I think.
Max Verstappen over the finish line and today's winner.
Let's have a look behind. He's going to use a lot of battery here to try and defend. Is it going to be enough, though? I think Alonso's got to run. He's going to go to the inside. Oh, Alonso's got the move. Nothing we could really do there. Now we just need to try and hope that we can keep Ocon behind as well. We don't want Lando to drop out the points because he's done a really good job, but Danny Rick, like I said, we slagged him off an awful lot at the start of this, but Daniel Ricciardo crosses the line, P6. That's actually a really good result, to be fair.
Okay, that's the checkered flag.
What about Norris, though? Can he
Cheers, boys.
get the position at the line? He's coming up to it. He's coming up. He's going to keep him behind, I think, 1 point. It's going to be a photo finish, but yes, there we go. Lando Norris gets the points. Fantastic stuff. Double points finish for the first round of the season. I'm really, really happy with that one, to be honest.
Well done, dude.
Really, really good job from the McLaren boys. And we both get a double points finish. We'll just fast forward so everyone crosses the line, and there you have it. P6 and P10. The first round of the season.
This was some stellar work from Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, great stuff from Ricciardo there. I said number 2 driver, we were talking about replacing him, but he's actually had a pretty decent race. That's a great camera angle there. Really enjoying looking at that really dark sand.
McLaren has shown some serious chops here. A good result.
Yeah,
for the team from
engineers are happy, team are happy. Great first result, double points on the board, and I think that's what, 9 points on the board for McLaren. So we'll definitely take that if you look at the really low res safety car there. Skip that and take a look at the final results. There you have it. Max Verstappen won, started third, wins the race from Carlos Sainz. Charles Leclerc P3, Perez P4, and then Hamilton P5. Then you got us. Look at that, up 8 places from Ricciardo. Really good race from him. Definitely think that back marker helped out towards the end though. No, Bottas, Russell, Alonso just got past. Not much Norris could do there on dead sides, but he did keep back Esteban Ocon. And then there are the last of your finishes. Look at the Drivers' Championship. Obviously, it's in the order the race finished, so There's the results there. Constructors, we are P4. Fantastic stuff. Like I said, considering where our car is, probably only the 7th or 8th best. We're P4, we're on target, we only need to finish P5 this season. It's good to get some points over Alpha, especially over Alpine, early on. And see, a little bit of experience here for our drivers. Like I said, it will take quite a lot for these guys to actually level up. But, yeah, you know what? I think that's a pretty decent first race. Obviously, driver bonuses. I think because Ricardo got above 8th place, he gets his £1 million. Takes a little bit out of our balance, but 2.9 million in the bank. Oh, sorry, earned to add to our bank balance after the first race. Can't really ask for any more than that. Really good job there. Quite happy with that one. What time are we on? 9 o'clock bang on. I said we'd finish at 9 o'clock, so do you know what? That is absolutely perfect. Tour Centre has been upgraded. And do you know what? I think that's where we will leave it off for this stream. So, this is part 1. Like I said, hopefully you have all enjoyed it. We will try and get this done a couple of times a week because they are quite easy streams to do. Do 1 or 2, maybe 2 races if we can get them in. If not, we'll just have 1 Grand Prix. You know, and we can advance, see what we can do with McLaren, see where we can get them. And hopefully you'll join us for the ride. But that is it for today because I need to go and eat. And I need to go to bed because I've got work tomorrow. So thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Hopefully you enjoyed the F1. And like I said, there is another race next weekend, so we can discuss that on next Sunday's stream. But in the meantime, I've been XSmithyX. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been great to see you all again after a little bit of a delay, but hopefully things will be a little bit more regular. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.